Hello. How are you? Feel the skeptic atheist.
I am good, thanks.
That's
And what
good.
about you?
Jeez. Do you know what the weather is here?
Hot, very hot.
It is 31 degrees.
Wow, similar to here.
31 degrees today. Degrees centigrade, I mean.
Wow, yeah,
Ooh,
31. That's about here too, about 31, 32. Feels like 34. So,
right now, I haven't got the
yeah, it's
lights.
31.
I
Mm.
have no indoor lights on. This is all
Word.
just outdoor lights.
Yeah, but it's very clear.
It is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's very clear.
Shows
Yeah.
you how
And this
hot
is
it
outdoor
is.
lighting right now here
Is it?
too. And
And what time is it now over there?
it's now 12, around 12, 40 or so.
12:35.
12:35, yeah. 12:35.
Right now it is 5:35 here.
Wow.
So we still look.
Yes, I
My
have a
goodness.
lot of, yeah, sunlight.
I'm not complaining, Philip. I am not complaining. I love this. Just give me this weather any day, anytime. I'll take it. Just give me this. But you see, the winter. Ay, 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 ay. No.
Uh,
I think what I'm
to
going to do
biting cold. Yeah,
when
Ben's winter come down in Barbados.
I'm coming, Barbados. Yes, when it's the winter time, I'm coming. Thank you. Hello, Scapegoat Iscariot. Talk about
Hi,
synchronicity. I
scapegoat.
showed up at 1 minute in. Hey. Yes, Scapegoat
Yeah,
Iscariot. And we
and
already have
Inquisitor
Inquisitor
Bacon.
Bacon. Inquisitor Bacon. And now we play the waiting game. I apologize. That was my fault. Philip is always very early. Okay. My son had a guest come in just as I was about to start. So I had to say hello to him. I didn't want to come on and then, sorry, let me just stop, say hello to the young man, and then come and start. So the question today, Philip, I've got a question to ask you.
Mhm.
Is the Christian God a loving God? What do you think?
Uh, or let's say, let me put it this way: according to the Christians, he claims to be a loving God, but
Claims.
but he's an abuser. He's an abusive spouse.
Oh,
When you
wow.
look at the Bible, there, Walter, he is a sick, misogynistic, abusing spouse. There are some words that Christopher, that Richard Dawkins used to describe the God of the Bible, and those things fit aptly to the God of the Bible because that's the character.
Hmm.
He said misogynistic, what? Nihilistic. There's some words. Yeah, he he is sick bastard.
Ay, 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 ay. Oh, hello, Black Poodle. Hello, Black Poodle. Look at that poodle. Ah, look at that poodle there. Cute poodle.
Oh,
So, what do you guys think? Inquisitor Bacon, Scapegoat Iscariot, Black Poodle. What are your thoughts about the Christian God? Or what have you been told? Because to be fair, Philip, to be fair, the Christian God
mm-hmm.
has never spoken.
No,
The
no,
Christian
no.
God has never said a thing.
But the
So
character that they display about character of the Christian God, as we see in the Bible, the character not nice at all. Even though Christians claim it's supposed to be a nice character.
just open the Old Testament and see what he's like there. My death to bigotry.
Okay.
Good afternoon to you too. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Esther.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what Richard Dawkins said about the God. He said the God of the Old Testament is arguably the most unpleasant character in all fiction.
Mm,
You know, it's fictional.
he is fictional, yeah.
Jealous. Jealous and proud of being jealous. You see that? A petty, yeah, very petty, unjust, unforgiving, control freak. That's where the abusive spouse
Mm.
comes in, control freak, a vindictive, bloodthirsty, ethnic cleanser,
Oh.
a, a misogynistic, homophobic, racist,
Mm-mm.
infanticidal, genocidal,
Wow.
filicidal, pestilential, megalomaniacal, sadomasochistic God.
You know something? With that description, just let's just put the nail to the coffin. Okay? Let's just put the
Mhm.
nail to the coffin and just throw it away. It's done.
It's done.
No, there's
Uh,
no more to be said.
but that is that when you look at even the Old Testament and the New Testament, that is the God of the Bible.
Gosh.
Claim to be loving, but this is the character, a very sick character.
Let me read
And,
this by
mhm,
Scapegoat Iscariot says, well, let's assume the God of Israel is real. In that case, we are all screwed. Love, as we know it, does not count. Only
correct.
what God declares counts, and so human love is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow says, if the characters were switched around, meaning if Satan was the hero and God was the bad guy, the story makes more sense. Because Black Widow, the devil, seems to be a much nicer character in that book. The devil
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Not many deaths are attributed to the devil. Not many evil things are attributed to the devil. The devil has really never really spoken. The devil has never really had his day to speak for himself. All we have had is just people speaking on his behalf, people blaming him for
Mm-hmm.
things he hasn't done,
Then correct.
things that he's not responsible for.
Yeah, that is so true. Even in book of Job, the devil just asked God a question about his servant Job, and I do, and the devil just God, if he removed his hand and these disasters happen. So the devil didn't seem to cause the disasters.
Mm-mm.
According to Job, the Bible and Job is, God remove his hand and then these disasters happen. So it's implying that disasters don't happen when God's hand is upon you, which is still lends no that still even shows you how horrible that God is, because we are having disasters now based on the Christian thinking from
But
that Bible. We
you do
having
you
disasters now, and that means God's hand was removed, so which means He doesn't really care. Hmm.
the story of Job is one good reason why I am not a Christian anymore. The devil had to seek God's permission to
Yeah.
do all what he did to Job.
Mm-hmm.
The devil said, yes, indeed, I can't touch Job because you've put a hedge around him.
Then
And the devil
yes.
says, God says, I will take off the hedge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as you don't kill him,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you don't take the life of Job. It's okay to take Job's life, not to not take Job's life, but it was okay to take 10 of Job's kids in one day.
Mm-hmm. And to
10
torture Job,
children.
and to torture.
Anyways, let's get started. I saw this video. Somebody came online and decided that they would come online and speak about their God. And my question is why? Why? When I show you this video, then when I show you this person, then you'll understand why somebody would come online looking like this and praising God. Let's have a look. Okay,
Wow.
so first things first, let me read the description. So it goes on and on and on and on about question. If God is all loving and knew that we would sin, causing all of evil and suffering we go through, why would he still have created us with free will? Question. So they try to answer the question, but then here they say on Thursday night, December 5, 2019, the Lord protected and provided for me to spare my life when the time he has given me on earth
Mm.
could have come to an end. Through what
Wow.
the enemy intended, God is using. Philip, listen to this. Through what the enemy intended for evil, God is using as a tremendous opportunity to bring glory to his name. We are just in the beginning, and all we are seeing him already do is beyond words. Our prayer is that through every moment in the ambulance, our prayer is that through every moment in the ambulance, tests ran, phone calls made, paramedics, nurses, doctors, specialists, patients, police
Yeah.
officers, detectives, witnesses of the scene, and all those who will hear and see this testimony of the Lord's faithfulness will have an opportunity to see God's glory and salvation
That's all.
offered through his Son Jesus for their lives. God is able to bring good out of all things for those that love him and are called according to his purpose. Be diligent and persevere to the end, for in this we shall be saved, in the name of Christ Jesus. Guys, apparently, God uses God uses God is using a tremendous opportunity to bring glory through to his name. That's what God is doing. So
And
and
because the bad thing happened now, you realize he's blaming
no no
Satan.
no 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 no
Well,
no no
he
no
wasn't.
no no. There's no
He
Satan.
didn't say that.
You just wait. There's no Satan involved here. This is all
No,
God.
no, no. No. Did he just blame Satan, saying that it was
There's no
the
Satan
devil,
here.
or trying to prevent
Oh
Satan's
yes,
trying?
yes.
Yeah,
So
it was the part that he was talking about
here
the enemy,
oh
or
yeah. Through what the enemy in the no through what okay, so what the enemy intended for evil, God is using
right.
as a tremendous opportunity to bring glory to his name.
Right. So he's blaming, he's saying Satan did this to him, but God is going to use what Satan did to him to bring glory to God's name. And that's how Christians tend to think with that
So
sort of thing happening.
so your God waits for these things to happen,
Mm.
then steps in. Not it doesn't step in to help you, doesn't step into but he steps in to bring glory to his own name.
This is where the color come on.
Huh?
So this very color is going to come on, because you see, Esther, you don't understand. Yes, God is doing it for his will, for his glory, and if he stepped in at that point in time, he's violating the
Free
person's
will.
free will, right? So he cannot violate the person's free will, so he allows it to happen, and then he steps in. Yes,
Hey, bro,
and
guy.
I see he did say something in there about free will. I know you scrolled down.
All right, I can go
He
back.
was
Don't
saying
worry. I can go
something
back.
in there about free will, and they
I'll
got a
read.
little.
I'll read it. So it says here. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Okay, so uh, The Lord protected and provided for me to spare my life when the time He had given me on earth could have come to an end. Through what the
Mhm.
enemy intended for evil, God is using as a tremendous opportunity to bring glory to His name. We are just in the beginning, and all we are seeing Him already do is beyond words. Our prayer is that through every moment in the ambulance, in the test ran, the phone call made, the paramedics, the nurses, doctors, specialists, patients, police officers, and the detectives and witnesses of the scene, and all those who will hear and see this testimony of the Lord's faithfulness will have an opportunity to see God's glory and
Mm.
salvation
Mm.
offered through His Son Jesus for their lives. God is able to bring good out of all things for those that love Him and are called to His according to His
Purpose.
purpose.
His
Be
purpose.
diligent and persevere to the end, for in this we shall be saved in the name of Jesus Christ the Lord. All
Oh
glory.
my gosh. But scroll up a little higher. He said when he started, he talked about look,
Okay,
right. God
let me.
truly is all knowing. That part.
God
Look at
truly.
that part.
Okay,
That's
there's a question first. The question is, if
uh-huh.
God is all knowing and knew that we would sin, causing all of evil and so because it's our sin. The sin of two people eating this fruit,
Some fruit or
right?
something.
So not
Yeah.
us, Philip, not me and you, okay?
No.
This has nothing to do with you, me,
No.
bro guy, black poodle, Inquisitor Bacon, death to bigotry, everyone in the chat. We had no business in this at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
God is all knowing and knew that we would sin, those two would sin, causing all of evil and suffering that we go through now. Why would He have created us with free will? Question. Now, the answer is God truly is all knowing. He did know that when He gave us free will, our choice to sin and walk out on our relationship with Him would bring all of this suffering and evil, and that we would have to go through everything that we go through. God also did it knowing that because of his great love for us, it will cost him his only perfect son. He gave us free will knowing that we would choose to sin and that sin would cause suffering and evil. But God still did it knowing the sacrifice his son would make to die on the. Listen, I can't read no further. I'm done.
Right, right.
Oh no.
So that's his reasoning no for what has happened because he know what people are going to say. But what about how can God knowing this is going to happen, allow it to happen?
Okay,
That's
let
his
me
excuse.
let me read this last part. God knows that the restored relationship that we can have with him through Christ is worth all the pain
Shh.
that he would send his son to go through for you and I to be brought back again. He loves you. Philip, God loves you. Bro guy, God loves you. Black
I,
Poodle, he loves you.
I have a really good meme. Can I share it that relates?
Please
I
do,
only saw
please,
it this morning that
please,
relates to this,
please,
and I didn't even know this is what we were going to talk about. You
please
see
do.
how the flying space monkeys work? How wonderful they are. They know. Hey.
All right,
So,
share. I don't know how that would work. See if you can share. I have to remove this one.
yeah, I can share the screen.
Okay. How's everyone doing? Dr. Cyrus, Death to Bigotry. Let's see. Who do we have here? Da, 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 da. Ox. Hello, Ox. Ox is here too. Hey, who else? Yes. Inquisitor Bacon. Okay, no, I think Inquisitor Bacon might be busy. He was waiting for us. We started a bit late. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
add the stream. Right. Okay, here we
All
go.
right. Look, weird. So it says weird how the work of Adam is universal. What we were just talking about
Yes.
this person sinning, eating a fruit, and everybody gets condemned or thing, and condemns you without your free will. Original sin, quote unquote.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
please don't. Let's let her carry on. I beg you. We can wait. We
Right. It
can we can
says,
wait
no,
for
I can finish read this.
yeah, we can
No.
wait for her. Never mind. We respect wives around here. We respect wives, partners,
Oh,
concubines,
read,
mistresses, anything, we respect them around here because they make life wonderful
better.
for us.
Yeah.
So please
All right,
allow
Esther,
me.
read it
All
for
right.
the others.
Weird how the work of Adam is universal. The work of Adam. All right. And condemns you without your free will. But the work of Jesus is not universal and cannot save you without your. It's funny that, isn't it? It's funny. How does that work? I don't understand that. So Adam sinned, and all of us are sinners. All of us, children, every single human that came after Adam. Oh, but Jesus, when Jesus came, who was supposed to come and clean up what happened, somehow that is not universal. No, we have to grovel for Jesus's whatever Jesus came to do. Now we have to go through these special steps. No, this is crazy. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. But when I saw this, I said, "Wow, this aptly describes that."
You act like Jesus taking the weekend off is such a big deal. I mean, he
You know,
deserved he deserved his weekend off. Let him just have fun, enjoy. I wonder what he did during that weekend. I really wonder what he did. Someone's not telling us something. They said he went down to hell. To do what
to do
exactly? What
what?
was he doing there? I bet he was checking out the fine demons down there, the women demons, or I don't know.
He had a 3 day orgy.
It wasn't even 3 days, Philip.
Right, 3 days and 3 nights.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even three
I,
days or 3 nights. Only
the,
two and a
the,
half days.
the gospel authors could not decide if it was 2.5 days or three
Or three
days, three
days.
nights. They couldn't decide.
Well, he then went to hell. What was he doing
Hell,
in
but
hell? What
what
was
was
he
he doing
doing?
in hell? I suspect an orgy. He had an
You were all
orgy.
right. You know
Yeah.
what? We'll come back to that. For now, let's go and see
Yeah.
God's handiwork, okay?
Yeah. Hmm.
And then hopefully we can ask the question: Is the Christian? We can answer the question: Is the Christian God a loving God? Okay, so right, let's hear this guy's testimony. Let me make sure it's on 1.25. Okay.
Through these past few days, I have seen the faithfulness and goodness of God in a greater way than ever before. Just 2 nights ago, the Lord brought me through something that has become life-changing. And it very may have well been the last night of my life, but God protected and provided for me. I still do not know exactly what happened, for I do not remember. But God knows, and He knows why He decided to spare my life.
I will take that back so you can hear that first bit. So God allowed this to happen. Okay.
Through these past few days, I have seen the faithfulness and goodness of God in a greater way than ever before.
Oh, really?
Just 2 nights ago, the Lord brought me through something that has become life-changing. And it very may have well been the last night of my life, but God protected and provided for me. I still do not know exactly what happened, for I do not remember. But God knows, and He knows why He decided to spare my life. Because of that, I need to thank Him. We need to trust Him, and to choose to use whatever God has entrusted to us to bring all glory to His name alone. So what He has shown me, I need to share with you. There will be suffering here on our time on earth, but we need to understand that this wasn't a part of God's original plan. He didn't choose for us to do this. He created us to live with him and to live for him in a perfect relationship. In Holy Communion, in an intimate fellowship, God walked and talked with Adam and Eve in the beginning. But in his great love, God gave us a choice. We could continue to live in a perfect relationship or to walk on our own strength. And God told Adam and Eve, "You may eat from any tree in the garden, just do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die." And they, just like us all, chose to disobey God. And our sin brought suffering.
Okay. Philip, please help me. I'm asking the question why? 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 Why would you
Why?
come
Mhm.
on screen like this and promote God looking like this? As far as I'm concerned, look, I never claim to be a very clever person. I really don't. But when I look at this, in my mind, I'm thinking whoever did this to you is evil. Whoever
Yeah.
allowed this to happen, whoever stood there
Mhm. And watch.
and watched this happen to you,
Mhm. But
they either don't love you or but
they're powerless.
how can something like this happen and we're still thanking God? In the midst of this whole thing, God is still speaking to him and he still finds he needs to come and share what. Philip, please help me make sense. Please. I know you know why, because I don't. Please help me, please.
No, the thing is, you see, in his mind, he what he said, that's what he believed, and he feels that this is going to get people who ask why bad things happen, that this will give the answer, and that this will have that dramatic effect to change their minds to his understanding. But he
True.
doesn't realize it defeats his understanding, because it's going to clearly place in people's mind, even more so, who question these things, how could a loving God do this to you by
So
withholding his protection, do this to you, all loving, all powerful God? If it was me and they had that power, if it was you and we had that power, and even without that power, we look to try to protect people. And if we had that power, we will try to protect them and stop that from happening, which is love. But you have an all powerful God sitting back and doing
look at
this. That
look at
God is
look at
not that good, or yeah.
look at the comment by Death to Bigotry. It says God what so whatever caused this, whatever happened with this, God saw it happen. God watched it happen.
And probably
And
knew
still
before time,
he knew that's another thing. He is all
knowing
and everything is predestined. Well, according
according to the Calvinists.
whichever so gosh, I just can't. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Hey, I see. Okay, Crystal Bacon says he probably went online like this to fuel the persecution complex. As bad as that sounds, it sucks. It happened to him, but it fits with the Christian idea that everyone is against. Exactly. Well said. That's the whole idea. Hey, dog. Hello.
Hi,
How you
dog.
survive this shit, dog? Oh, right now it's 30 degrees now. My goodness. Hey Baran, hello, good to see you. Stuff like this just adds to their persecution complex. Well, he
Mhm.
doesn't tell us what happened. He doesn't tell us. He just said he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember what happened, but that God saw him through this. Gosh. He doesn't remember. Baran, hey.
Esther, what about those who didn't live to make that statement? See, that is where I have a problem. This is where I have a major problem with this sort of thinking. Because basically he's saying, I am blessed. That favoritism sort of thinking. But there are persons who, Christians too, who would not have lived through that come on to
Ordeal.
say that
That's
their
ordeal.
Lord protected them, or what he's saying there. So they always ignore the misses and always love to give the hits, which is very dishonest.
I remember when we used to be in church, when we go to church on a Sunday or Wednesday, whenever we go, the person leading the prayers would say something along the lines of, let us thank God
Mm-hmm.
for keeping us alive today.
Mm-hmm.
So many have died and did
Mm-hmm.
not live
Yeah.
to this day. Some have, they're gone. Some would give anything to have the chance to be where you are, but they don't. So use this opportunity. Thank God for where you find yourself. People are in
Yeah.
hospital. People are in hospital. Some people have
Mm-hmm.
oxygen. They can't breathe air like you do. So be thankful for. When I remember some of the prayers that we used to pray and how insensitive they were at the time,
Mm-hmm.
they made sense at
Yeah.
that time. But now they just, I cringe when I think about some of the things I used. It's like
Mm-hmm.
saying, like you're saying, like you just said, Philip,
I am
I am
blessed.
blessed, I'm special.
Special. Yeah. That's it. That's that mentality, because that's what they say. Or they will say, if you say, well, I survived, they say, oh, you are blessed by God. What? No.
Oh no,
Come on.
dog is in hospital. Oh
Oh
goodness. But
gosh.
I thought that your procedure was just the day before and it was just a day case.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you stopped in the hospital. Oh, dog,
So
listen,
sorry.
our hearts are with you. Had
Yes.
emergency surgery this morning, and
Wow.
I now have a second of
You
spine.
know, you have 2 inch
Two
of
inches
spine,
of
of
spine
spine
missing.
missing.
Still
Oh.
alive. My goodness, dog. Gosh.
And see that, no, excuse me for having used your case, but this is what is happening. Someone is suffering, yet they will say, he will come and say, oh, God protected him, and or somebody will say, oh, God heal me, and come on, man, really? Is that there's a sick way of thinking, and the church perpetrates it,
Exactly.
keeps perpetrating it. I mean, even before I deconverted completely, man was
Mm,
still a Christian, I started to see the crap in this,
yeah.
especially telling the children at school, at full assembly, telling them, oh, thank God you have these facilities, and that you have somewhere to come. So it's implying that there are other people who don't, so they're not blessed by God, right? So it is a sick way of thinking, really sick.
Oh. And it's funny how he's not telling us exactly what happened. Apparently, he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember. But he's here to tell us it was God. But he doesn't remember.
But when your brain, when you don't remember, usually, as far as I
Someone would have
remember
told him.
reading, uh,
Someone would have told him what happened.
right?
He
But not
knows.
only that, but the brain goes in. He's suffering. What my point is that he's suffering trauma right now as a result of that. When you don't know or remember, it is your brain protecting you. From
So
psychology, your brain goes into protection mode where sometimes you don't remember exactly what happened to protect you. It protect you, basically, the other parts of your brain from the trauma. It's almost like a
PTSD.
PTSD type of situation.
Mm.
But
So
it might come back to him, and not in a pleasant way neither.
mm, listen, what I'm saying, he may not remember altogether. I get it. But the people around him, someone would have told him This is what you went through. This is what, and the fact that he's not telling us makes me want to agree with Robin. And how are you doing today, Robin? What makes me want to agree with her? Hell was a nightclub, so so you know he was getting his drinks on.
Mm,
Something was
mm.
happening. Anyway, dog is eating jelly and ice cream. I don't like jelly. I would not touch jelly. But ice cream, yes, but I do not like jelly. Ugh, gross. Thank God I am not that poor sucker. You know, that was the prayer of the if you remember the oh gosh, I forgot the story. There was someone who was it was a parable. Jesus was saying this person was in the corner thanking God that he is not like the other person. The one I think it was the Samaritan, the good Samaritan, right? Someone, listen, I forgot the story, but one person was thanking his God that he wasn't like the other man. Anyways, I cannot die.
Oh
I
yeah.
am Jesus. Yes. Dog is not going anywhere. Please, we need you. We need
Yeah.
the gospel according to Dog.
True.
So send the link. Are you serious, Dog? No, no,
Woo.
seriously, Dog. No, no, I don't want you to do that. No, no, Dog. No, 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 no. No, seriously, Dog. Please, no pressure at all. We'd rather you get better and,
Mhm.
check out of that. No, we don't want you to be showing off. Dog wants to show off his
Mm.
single room in the hospital. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh gosh. It says,
Mm.
plus joining in will take my mind off of my own thoughts for a while. Okay. That's the
Okay.
only
What is?
reason why I've said it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, listen, we would rather you get better. Ah, no. Okay,
Uh,
let me.
I think he's going to say, "Look, I survived. No God." Despite the challenges, despite the challenges.
I know.
Because was my same thinking too. I survived a double heart attack. There
Yes.
was no God.
Mm-mm.
I when I was a Christian, I would have said, oh, God is so good. God protected me. I didn't faint. I didn't drop on the floor. I can think clearly. It's just I had this immense pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said good things still happen to us as as unbelievers, as the converted from Christianity.
Yeah.
And these are the sort of anecdotes that Christians use to try as to use as evidence that their God exists. I have a testimony. No God needed.
I thought so. I'm pissing in a bag. They've left me alone in this room. How could it get any worse? I am Jesus. Hey, African science. Hello, peace to you too. Okay,
Mm,
so dog will continue, and I'll keep
mhm,
looking out for dog.
mhm,
Maybe some of the nurses have come to, you know, dog.
mm.
Make sure
All
you
right.
remember your modesty now, okay? Because those hospital robes, they're very flimsy. Before you know it, you can have all your bits hanging out, and all
Oh
the
yeah.
nurses, will be blessed by, will be blessed with a wonderful view. Huh? Hello,
Hi, dog.
who is that?
Oh, what's
It's
going on there?
hey, hello.
Hey, what's up?
But actually, one short moment, I was going to show my face. Well, let me go into settings here.
Animes, bro. I tell you.
I'll be right with you, Brendan.
Oh, yeah, I can't get that off for some reason. I'll figure it out as we go along.
Okay.
Yes, go on, continue.
I'll carry on playing the video, but
But yeah,
we're glad to.
and can I
We're
just
glad to-
also add, I feel a lot better than I have done for a
Oh,
while now, even though I've had a vertebra
surgery.
and a large disc removed. I feel it's taken away a hell of a lot of pain, which I've been in for a number of months now. Everyone thought it was just part of the, the experience I witnessed beforehand. Getting the feeling back in the body and that, but yeah, it's taken away a hell of a lot of pain.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So onwards and upwards. But yes, I've been watching this and what happened to him?
Listen,
what
he's
happened
not.
to him.
He's not. No, we don't know either. He hasn't told us. He doesn't remember. Somehow he doesn't remember.
Yeah, God can
But
do that.
but God saw him through all this. So yeah. So Doug, did you hear me when I was saying be very careful? Those hospital gowns are very flimsy. Make sure remember your modesty, right? So you're not
I
showing off your feet to
I
the
can't walk
nurses.
anyway. Oh, Esther, my dignity is right out the window. I'm back to peeing in the bag, and I'm wearing a nappy again. So I've got no pelvic floor at the moment after surgery like that. It totally disappears altogether.
Okay.
And I may have to go to Sheffield for 3 months of rehab. But
Okay.
I cannot be killed. I am the man who cannot die. And I'm sure when I do, I'll come back in 2 days. I'll better Jesus by a whole day.
Oh wow!
Show I'm more committed than that man. I will not have an extra day off.
I think we need to thank the God of what hospital are you in? No, sorry. No. Scratch that. Just
I'm in the Norfolk and Norwich.
No. You don't need to tell us.
Just thanking the
whatever
doctors and
hospital,
the nurses.
whatever hospital you're in, we thank all of them.
Oh, the people here are absolutely glorious.
Everyone who has looked after you.
They're absolutely glorious. Every single person here.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Look at Dr. Cyrus. Dr. Cyrus wants to walk around the wards naked.
Go man's up. I'll tell you what.
No, how is that good? Who wants to see those wiggly things all over the place? Who wants to see that?
I mean, the good thing is I've still got function in my legs.
Okay, great.
I've still got function in my legs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry. I'll carry on with the video. You just carry on with that, okay? Okay, let's hear.
But that's a good sign.
That's good to hear.
That's great.
Suffering and sickness.
Well, I'm also like over 2 inches shorter now.
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, so I'm not that 5'4" hunk I was. I'm now 5 foot. I'm now
5'2".
I mean, Tom Cruise is no. I was always like 5'10" for average, but yeah, I'm getting to Tom Cruise size now. Sadly.
But then you can wear heels. You know.
Huh?
You can
wear heels.
Well, I've got to turn up all my clothes like a child now. I've got to have them all turned up.
Or you have to go shop in the children's section for your clothes.
Yes, that's another good point. There's benefits of being short. Whether I'm going to walk again properly. I hope I do. I'm determined to. We'll find out tomorrow when my surgeon comes in. Okay. Assesses.
You will let us know how you will let us know how you're getting on, would you?
Absolutely. Yeah, but don't let me defer from. Sorry. Yes, thank you, young man. Well, can you leave that spoon, please? Yeah, I've still got me. I've still got me
jelly and ice cream.
Well, no, this one is a strawberry yogurt.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, look after me here because I haven't eaten for 48 hours.
People sending you love. We love you, dog.
Oh, thank you, guys. I will try. I will try and
Hank
I will
Hill,
try
Lasso,
and get rid of that anime. I don't know where that's come from. Actually, I actually looked
yeah,
at
I
that
don't know what that
once.
is.
I never
Anyway,
downloaded it.
for me, to be honest, to be fair, those gowns are the best things that can happen. Because I listen, if you show it off, I will look. I'm not one to not
Sure.
look. I will look. I don't mind looking at a nice ass. Why not? Or a nice giggly bit. Listen, I will look. Never mind me. Pretending that I wouldn't look. I will look. I will tell you that. If it's on show, I will look.
To be fair, Esther, my I fixed it.
Hey, hello. Whoa, look at you. Oh my
Um,
goodness. Oh
Obviously,
wow. Hang
I'm
on,
all,
let me okay, I need
You can move
to
the comment.
yeah, hang
Yeah,
on. How do you
Inquisitor.
do this now?
Just click
How
on
do
see and
you
comment.
okay, I can move him
Okay, yeah, yeah,
up here. Right, and then
yeah.
I can hey, look at you. Hello. Hello, dog. Oh,
I'm showing
look.
my eczema off and a big fat face. My
No,
rugby
it's
tooth that's missing.
okay. It's okay.
But
It's good to see
Good
you.
to see you. Good to see
do
you.
you see my room?
Yes.
Quality.
Oh, look at you. Look at
Single, all
Yes.
kitted out. I've got my news on.
fancy, fancy. Look at
Wow,
that.
I've got my
nice.
Oh,
YouTube on. I've got my
whoa,
toilet.
whoa, whoa. Oh, look at you.
Wow.
Well, the toilet is down there, to be fair.
Right.
How are you going to get to the toilet, dog? Oi,
I don't
oi,
need to.
don't show off that bit. Thank you.
I've got a nappy and a bag hanging at the end of the bed.
Mhm.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm all right.
that's
So
good. That's
so
good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Okay.
dog anymore.
What are you now? He's not a dog anymore. He's
I'm a person, aren't I? A big bald person.
mhm.
So I've got that average. Dillahunty, he copied it off me.
Mm.
So Hank Hill Boss on YouTube. You know I will look. You know I will go check out Hank Hill Boss. But let's continue with this. And hey, good to see you, Steve McRae manager. See, Doug is living in the lap of luxury and then trying to show off his lap. It's Doug, isn't it?
To be fair, the lap of luxury is being pain free.
That's good. Yeah, you don't. You want
I'm
to.
assigned
Mhm.
two nurses as well, Ollie and Lucy.
Two
Both beautiful
nurses.
people.
Wow.
You got
Yeah,
two
well,
nurses
yes,
to yourself.
Holly and Jade. And both beautiful people. Ollie,
Oh.
he's a legend. And Jade, she's only a student at the moment, but she actually bothers to spend time and chat with you and listen to my
Mhm.
nonsense.
Wow.
And you know I talk nonsense, and I can go on and on and on and on. I don't know I sound a bit slower, like I'm drunk all the time, but that's just the way I am.
Hey,
At
that
least I
means
have an excuse that I came out of surgery only a few hours ago. Yeah, hang
Wow.
on.
yeah.
But at
Doug,
least you're not experiencing that pain
Hang on.
anymore. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, hang on.
I don't know if you can see that.
Hang
There's their
on.
names up there.
There we go. Is that better? Oh, their names are up there.
Ollie
Okay.
and Jade.
Okay.
So you got two nurses to yourself.
Both
Aren't you
extremely
lucky?
good-looking young children.
Aren't you
I wouldn't call
lucky?
them children, young adults.
Aren't you lucky? My goodness. Hmm?
Yeah, absolutely.
But we need you to get better. We need you to make sure you're,
Well, this
you know,
face
doing.
and nose is used as playing rugby, by the way. I haven't got
That's
my crown
okay.
in because that's the only two that we got knocked out playing rugby. But I played. I suppose I probably aided to having a bad back for all my life, which I didn't know because I
Mhm.
was numb for a lot of it for a few years.
Right.
And now the
Well,
feelings come back. these things are coming to forefront. Anyway, crack on with your video, Esther.
But it's good to have you here.
Watch out, not
And
mine.
if you need to leave at any point, please
No. I don't need to go to the
hello,
toilet.
Kitty. Titan Uranus is here too. Kitty is here, and it was something right. So, Dean says, Dean says, hair does not grow on brains. Steve McRae manager wants one of those penthouses. Are you sure about that, Steve McRae manager? Are you sure about that? Anyways, let's carry on with this video. My goodness. Okay, so this is the title of this: The Lord God Brings Glory and Good. Wow.
Destruction, disease, both physical and spiritual death, just as God had warned. And God had every right to turn his back on us, to abandon us, and to leave us to suffer in our own sinfulness.
Oh, gosh.
But instead, he chose to step in. Instead, he sent his son. We will go through suffering here on earth when we walk.
God chose to step in by sending his son. Why didn't God step in before they ate the fruit? Why didn't he step in? Then his son wouldn't have needed to die. Then all these so many people that have died because God was not happy with humans did need to die. Why didn't God step in there?
But you see also his the mentality there in terms of, you know, how some persons, when they are abused, they have this Stockholm syndrome type thing to identify and say, oh, I deserve it. He just said we deserve that suffering because we turn our backs on God and whatever. And that's that sort of mentality where abuser will say, but I love you, but you didn't do as I say. And he's saying, yes, I didn't do as you say. He's giving into that abusive mentality.
Yogurt.
What's dog eating his yogurt now?
Yogurt.
Yummy. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's carry on with this video.
Yeah, but Esther, I'm still very interested in what's happened to his face. It doesn't look like he's had a beating. It looks like could be. It looks like he's been in an accident or something.
Either an accident or someone smashed his face in. So he probably had an altercation.
Well, it looks like he's got a seriously damaged eye socket there.
Yeah.
The others just seem a bit. Obviously, one lip is swollen, but you know, was he
side of his face?
Was he in an accident, or did he go peddling his nonsense to people on the street?
We're not told what's happening here. Anyway, let's have a listen, okay? Let's hear whether he might tell us.
Walk through it with God, or if we choose to walk through it without him. Some suffering is involved with punishment, and some suffering is in regards to discipline. Punishment is a consequence, a response for wrongdoing. But as a father disciplines a child he loves, so God does to us. He allows his children to go through suffering, as he sometimes takes away something good in order to bring forth something far greater than we could have ever imagined, for his glory and our good. So for those that love him and are called according to his purpose, God is able to work all things together for good. And when we give our lives to God, we will suffer for doing good.
37 degrees in some places.
Okay,
The Tinder dry land.
Sorry.
Is that a joke?
Yeah, sorry, I muted it.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, let's listen to this.
There will be hardships here on earth for those that choose to live for him, because the Bible says that friendship with the world means enmity with God. Jesus said that in this world we will have trouble, but we have to take heart, for he has overcome the world. He said that if we were of the world would love us as its own. But because we are not of the world, he said that because we are his, the world will hate us. And when we're fully surrendered to Christ, submitted to God's will.
Okay, so this idea that when you become a Christian, the world will hate you. But then, okay, so as the world is hating you, on the one hand, the world is busy hating you. You still will be going through suffering, yeah? You will go through all these trials and tribulations. So basically, the life of a Christian is a life of misery.
Yeah.
from left, right, center. It's like
Mhm.
when you choose Christianity, you're choosing a life
Well,
of perpetual
isn't
suffering.
any controlled life an unhappy life?
Huh?
Because you're talking about a life that's being controlled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Life. How can that be a happy life? It's
Is
basically
it?
free slavery.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
basically
That's it.
slaves to this God. You have to do what he says, and you have to do by his will. And to me, that's not a happy life. That's not freedom at
Isn't.
all.
No, it's not.
It's terrible. This
And
idea, for me,
mhm.
the idea that Christians are called to separate themselves from everyone else because they are not of this world, right? So they are in this world, but they are not of this world. So it's this us versus them mentality. We are the Christians and they, the others. They are, so you're supposed to be in this world, but not to have anything to do with the world. I mean, I don't and to think that these people are not sure that they will even make it to heaven. So
It's
you've separated yourself. You've
mhm.
managed to make everyone else your enemy, and the chances of you making heaven are next to nothing.
Yeah. But it's a
Okay,
self-fulfilling prophecy.
that
It's
is
a
the life of
self-fulfilling prophecy because when they
a
create this scenario
horrendous
where
life.
they make them people believe, oh, you're going to be persecuted. Of course, no, it's not persecution. People are pushing against the negative
Mm,
aspects of your religion, pushing against your religion because they see the harmful effects. So for them now, you have created this as a psychological tactic. You have created this. You have created an enemy when there is no enemy,
there is none.
and so when people push back against you, they are the enemy, and
Mhm,
you will be persecuted.
mm,
So
mm.
you now have this persecution complex. When persons
Yes,
push against you, there's this persecution complex that they have and say, oh, we're being persecuted. You're not being persecuted, you know that. But in their mind, mentally they are being persecuted because they have adopted that sort of thinking, and they
No,
can
but
see how it creates a cult mentality.
Philip, now example, a G man, right? G man will come here and be
Oh no,
screaming.
not the man.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm sorry.
suffering enough,
I'm
Esther.
sorry. I am so sorry. No, 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 no,
You're
no. Just
obsessed with the
no,
man.
no. I'm not. I just want to try and make my point here.
Now you made me
Someone
cough.
like himself will come and say victim mentality, but
Yeah,
they are the villains.
yeah,
They're
that's
the
it.
ones victimizing the others that don't
Others, yeah.
believe in what they believe in. And
Mm-hmm.
when they get pushed back after victimizing others, then oh, the show, I'm being persecuted. You can't have
Yeah.
it both
To be fair, on
ways.
G-Man's side, it can't be easy mucking out Chinese cage. Laying down new straw and whatnot for
Oh,
to sleep on, and the kids to sleep on, and oppressed kids, beaten kids from Rev. I mean,
Mm,
gosh.
yeah, these people will always claim the victim. If it's getting them hits and
See,
likes and getting them attention, because a
see,
lot of these
Steve.
people are just basic attention seekers.
yeah.
Look, Steve McQueen manager has it exactly on point. Persecution
Yeah.
complex. You hate me because I'm a Christian, not because I'm an asshole like G Man. Proper asshole
Well,
that one is.
G-Man, we hate you for many other reasons, even though you are a Christian and an arsehole. We still hate
Hello,
you for
Rob
other
D.
reasons.
I mean, look at
Because
Rob
you're not
D.
a nice person. You're a hateful person.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Rob D now. If Rob D was in a hospital in his hospital gown, now that's a sight I would love to see. That is a sight that shall be good to my eyes. Okay, right. Never
Alexa,
mind me.
what are
What's
your
that?
thoughts on G-Man?
Oh, please. Okay, no. Wait. Alexa going to say something?
Well, I've turned it down now, but
Okay, all right.
she just say, well, she just sends me to his YouTube channel.
Oh
Bad
my
Alexa.
God. Bad, bad girl. All right, let's carry on with this. Yeah.
We know that we will suffer for him.
You
And when
suffer
we
for
do,
God.
we realize that it's not about us. Now, God does not just want us to suffer to test us or to see how much pain that we can endure. It's not God's character. And remember, that's not even his original plan from the beginning. Nor is God limited to only being able to show us purpose or teach us great wisdom in something by having there be pain involved. But there will be these times. And we do not want to miss that God's whole character and divine nature is that he is a God who does not give up. That is the only reason why we're still here. He has persevered. He could have and should have given up on us at creation. But that's not who he is. Instead, he chose to offer up the greatest gift when he gave his son. And God wants us to live here on earth with joy. God wants us.
Guys, you all should be very lucky. You all should, just be thankful that God did not take you out a long time ago.
Jesus.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, Phil, but I'm going to guess you were thinking a similar sort of thing, that he's sort of hinting that his injuries were self-inflicted to see how much pain he can endure.
I just,
For what purpose?
We talked about this the other night, Esther. There's actual people who get physically nailed to crosses every year.
Oh yes.
There's festivals for it.
Okay.
And people bathe in the blood that's coming out of these people. They wash their faces with it and rub it all over themselves. It's sick. It's a sick mentality, but it happens. But I'm just wondering if we saw it on that, what was the film called? The rubbish book, the Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code, yes.
But you saw that guy, when he sinned, he punished himself by, whipping himself. It's just,
Doug, there's a question for you here.
I wish. My penis isn't working.
Is Doug getting a procedure so he can shag on Wednesdays also? Why only on Wednesdays? And not on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, every single day. And listen, Doug, never mind, Steve McQueen. You don't have to answer that question. Never mind.
It's arranged. It's pre-arranged now. So I'll have a takeout and a shag on a Friday, a chinky or an Indian or sometimes just fish and chips. It doesn't matter. Or even a sweaty kebab, they'll do.
So you arrange.
Prearranged. It's
prearranged.
Yeah, because life becomes mundane, and I'm not. Yeah. I know myself and here indoors, we're not interested enough to step it up. We ain't got them fetishes or them kinky things where we stick things up each other and whatever they get to in the bedroom. God don't know, because he watches them things. He's into all that. He probably knows more about the fetishes than we do. But we're not into all that.
Okay.
The way life is. But at the moment, Steve, my dingling stopped working again.
But it will start to work very soon, hopefully.
Hopefully, it could be permanent now. But
oh no, don't say that. Anyway, you know what?
Well, that's it. Apparently, that's this sort of spinal injury, which unfortunately, because of the condition I was in before, it largely went unnoticed because it was part and parcel with stroke in that, if you understand. For what it was, but I was also, the positions I was lying in and sitting in and being manipulated into, although they thought it was still compressing my spine to a point where it may have it just took one little thing the other week to warrant this cold. And by the way, I've had 4 doctors' fingers up my backside in the last 2 days, and none of them left a phone number, bastards.
No.
None of them left, a tip or anything. Bought me a drink, got me just wham bam, thank you, ma'am, see you later. Rubber glove in the bin, gone. I thought, you bastards.
So upon everything
If
you've
I
been through,
could, I'd cry from
you still
sympathetic.
with everything you've been through, you still have humor in you. You can
There's no,
still find, you can still
there's,
see the
Yeah,
funny side of things.
you only get one shot at it, Esther, and there's no point in being miserable about it. If you want to be
correct.
miserable or throw it away and commit suicide or do anything silly with your life, these people who jump out of mountains with nothing but like a cotton like wingsuit and
Hmm.
expect not to die and play with lions and tigers and expect they will never eat me. They're just playing with their lives. You get one go at it. You're going nowhere else. So you think, because a lot of these, especially these down, depressed, miserable Christians who suffer from depression, bipolar disorder, and other things like that, they're waiting for the out. They're waiting. They can't commit suicide because it's a sin, but they're waiting for that out. They're totally,
Hmm.
waiting to die tomorrow because they know they believe they're going to a better place.
No,
You're
no, no, no,
not.
no.
So
I
you know that.
disagree. No, I disagree. Christians are not waiting to die. In fact, most of them
No,
are
they're
afraid.
afraid of
They're
death.
afraid to die.
Yeah,
No,
Most
no,
of
no,
them
no,
are
really
no,
afraid
are.
no.
to die.
No, no, quite a number of uh, Christians, again, who are suffering from severe bipolar and depression,
Okay, okay.
who are suicidal, who don't
Yeah.
want to be on this planet,
They want to end
and
it
there's
all.
plenty of them who want to end it or will not
Right.
because of God won't
Mm-hmm.
allow suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, do want, as I say, they want an out, and they want it
Mm-hmm.
sooner than later, rather than get
Yes.
the medical attention that could so help them.
Mm. So there's
And
Steve. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt.
no,
Steve
it's
McRae,
all good.
manager, says this. He was totally kidding, and he wishes you speedy recovery. African Science wanted to know, did it
Steve,
hurt?
can I say to Steve, live in the UK, I can understand sarcasm and humour. Trust me, I know you're only joking.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, you've not offended me at all. It's hard to offend me, to be fair. Although, so when people do, they know they've done it. But I'm
Okay.
just a short old man now, so
2 inches shorter.
over 2 inches.
Over 2 inches.
There was a
Oh
lumbar
wow!
vertebra they took out, and
Gosh, it took out your lumbar vertebrae.
one of my lumbar
Gosh,
vertebrae. Got quite a
one
number
of
of
your
lumbar
lumbar
vertebrae.
vertebrae. So now, how
No,
many ribs? How many ribs have you got missing?
no, it's not his
Um,
rib. It's
Which one? What
well,
does he
his,
got
his
missing?
spine.
His spine. What part is missing?
well, the thing is that a beautiful naked young woman wearing a fig leaf only has not popped up next to me with my body parts.
Missing.
But I'm
Oh,
gutted, yeah.
okay.
He's taking a vertebra and he's taking a disc as well, a large disc. And I didn't have my spine fused together either. That's why I'm going to grow shorter because physiotherapy is because if I tried to stand up, basically I would drop that 2 inches and just crush everything again, or
Mhm.
could crush everything again. So what's going to happen is it's going to work on the muscles and get me get me moving again. I'm going to be eating my food off my chest for a number of weeks, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to be about.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
got everything here I need. I've got my home away from home, and I
Right.
get my visits, and I'm good.
How many days do you reckon you'll be in hospital for?
Well, they're talking about me going to Sheffield to a rehab centre for 3 months,
Okay.
maybe. But I'm going to be at least a week. But my legs are working fine. If I can, after the swelling
Put
goes
weight.
down and
Put
whatnot.
weight on.
Huh?
To put weight on the legs.
Um, no, they won't allow me to do that. I've actually
Okay.
got them they take your blood pressure thing and monitors. They're going off every minute on my leg, on each leg. I got one on each leg. Quite annoying, really. But one will go off, and as soon as that goes down, the other one will go off.
Compression.
Blood pressure things, yeah, the electronic ones, just
Yeah.
they just blow. They just making sure that no blood has stopped going to my feet and whatnot. Yeah. It's not a good situation, but as I say, I'm the man who cannot die.
No. You're not
I'm
going
the guy,
anywhere.
I'm the guy off of James Bond, live and let die. I'm him.
John Stopman, how are you? Says, is the Christian God a loving God? No. He only loves when his conditions are met. Else we burn. True love equals infinite, unconditional, which doesn't apply to the Christian or Islamic God. I completely agree. Completely. And these gods were modeled after limited human characters. Yes. And Kitty says, hope you feel better, dog. Okay.
Thank you, Kitty.
And Kitty, how do you manage your condition? Yes, Kitty did say that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she wasn't sure because you were talking about some people who have these medical conditions and want to end things altogether. So I think we need to understand that there's nuance with all these things.
Well, no, there's no correlation with bipolar disorder and depression. But we know people suffer from them, and so do Christian fundamentalists.
Yes.
But Christian fundamentalists are the ones that won't go, if they're gay, even, they'd sooner send them to a gay conversion center, or they will pray for their bipolar or pray for their depression and make it all go away. And they convince themselves, even though it just makes them worse, that it's sad really, because bipolar untreated or unleft, it's like on a scale, and you can have excuse me, I've got Jade is here.
It's okay, not to worry. Okay. Let's carry on. And also, I'm going out in about 30 minutes, so we need to try and speed this up. I need to be out. That's why the stream is a bit earlier today, because I'm going to go out for a few drinks and come back. Yeah, okay. So
it's to realize that Christ has already won the victory. But in the times of suffering, we must understand that God wants to do something greater than we can understand. Each opposition is an opportunity when we walk with God. All pain is potential for his greater purpose, if we choose to trust him.
All pain is for his potential. His greater what?
For his
all
greater
pain
good?
is for greater potential. No, let me take that back. All pain is for his greater potential purpose. If you trust him,
he wants to do something greater than we can understand. Each opposition is an opportunity when we walk with God. All pain is potential for his greater purpose. If we
all pain is potential
for his greater purpose.
So this thing, what this guy has gone through here, this whatever he's been through, is all potential.
For God's purpose.
This is all just God can find purpose in this.
Yeah.
God can come in and say, you know what, your eye is broken. How about we, God. So God takes advantage of your pain.
It is the sick mentality, as I said, abusive start of thinking. Because once you can reason like that, that means you're reasoning that your God is an abuser, but you're saying, no, it's not abuser. This is for his glory because he's God. Nope. You are falling into the abusive, the Stockholm syndrome sort of thinking.
Gosh. So you want the link for this person? Okay, let me. I'll get the link for you.
That's what it is. Sick, thinking sick. Oh my gosh.
Let's carry on with this. My goodness. Oh God, this is so heartbreaking.
All suffering, God has significance if we endure to the end. But we have to know that there is an enemy, Satan, who is doing everything he can in this time of suffering to distract us from finding God.
Hang on, where's Jade? Hello, we can see Jade. Can we have her on here? Can we have her on here or no?
Jade, now she's working. She's just about to administer a
Okay.
laxative.
Okay. Oh, sugar. Oh, not a laxative. Oh. Okay. Bye, Doug.
You drink this
Enjoy.
one.
Ay. Oh, you got what's that? What's that in your mouth? What did you just put in his mouth?
Sorry.
The substance
thanks,
that
no?
laxative.
Oh, God, it's about to have
This girl, the African humus is very famous.
She's very famous.
Yeah, on YouTube.
No, I don't use
Ollie,
it.
go on now, go on in.
Please no. Oh,
Right,
God.
saying hi. It's Ollie. It's my other
Hello.
guy as well.
Hi.
He's looking after me. He's beautiful, aren't he? Beautiful
I
people.
know.
Oh, good luck.
Did you want a hot drink?
Tea or coffee?
Yeah, always. Some tea, please, fella. And that's I forgot your name, fella.
Sugar.
2, please.
It's been
Well, see you in a bit, all right?
Yeah, crack on with your work, guys. Thank you.
Doug is being offered hot drinks,
All the time, yeah.
ice cream, jelly. Just my.
Hey, that's James, by the way. Say hi, James. You're live on the air.
Hi there, do you want to see a
Hello.
coffee?
Do you want to
I
see
have
our
coffee.
Oh, I'm
Coffee
sure
me.
you'll have to work, we're busy.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, he said tough shit. Right.
Wow.
Go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to monopolise it. I just wanted. I just thought these guys needed
Okay.
praise.
shout out.
Needed to-
All right.
Yeah.
We'll let
to
you.
tell
We'll
you
let
now.
you. Let you carry on
Hi.
with your hot drink. Hey, Nova Real Show. Good to see you here. John Stockman wants to know Doug in hospital. Why is Doug? Oh my goodness, it's a long, really long story. He went in for a procedure just the other day, and then turns out he needed some more things done. So right now, Doug is out of
Surgery.
yeah, he's just come out of surgery.
Well,
How many inches? How many inches
was-
did you
it
have
was-
taken
it-
off your spine?
It was emergency surgery.
Emergency surgery.
Another
Mhm.
day, if he'd have left it another day, I was told I could have been forever paralysed from the waist down.
Oh.
Oh no.
Believe it or not.
Right.
That's how serious it. That's why it became. And apparently, I messed up all the surgical procedures today. So some poor soul didn't get their procedure today
Oh no.
because I apparently just took instant priority, which is one of the good things about the NHS. I know that we have waiting lists and that, but they do care and they will fit you in if necessary. You know, they won't have you suffer or even die if they can help. So yeah,
The
And-
free health care.
Yes.
no, it's
Yes.
not free. We do pay
That works.
taxes.
That works.
But
No,
it's
yeah,
worth
I
every
mean
penny.
taxes, but no, someone was saying from the UK
Yes.
that they need to get rid of the
Free
free
healthcare.
healthcare service. Yeah, we are paying for it. Yes.
Anyway,
But-
John, I had 2 inches
Yeah.
removed from my spine, a lower spine.
Oh wow.
I had a
Yeah.
vertebra and a disc removed through compression through the last 2 years of lying and sitting in weird places that I couldn't feel was painful to me or doing any damage because I was numb for basically 2.5 years anyway. So
Right.
stroke, huh? Boom, boom.
So one more day would have just left you paralyzed.
Wow.
Yeah, I had an MRI. I had an MRI, a procedural MRI this morning, and within 20 minutes of having the MRI, I was unconscious, having surgery.
Wow. Within
So-
20 minutes
Yeah,
of your MRI. And someone said they should take away this service.
I was told they'd get away I'd have to wait. I'd get the results, by the end of the morning. But within 20 minutes, there was a consultant surgeon there. Said, "We're going to take you up to surgery now." Quickly explained it to me while we were on the move. I signed the consent forms. Quickly phoned her indoors and said, "I'm shitting myself here,"
Hmm.
and told her
So
what's
John,
happening.
John Stopman sending his love to you. Says,
Thank you, John.
my best regards to Doug, and I hope he recovers quickly.
Mhm.
Yes.
And to be fair to anyone who's sending their regards and love, I've been in a lot. I've felt a lot better with a lot less pain than I felt in a long time.
That's good to hear.
Having this surgery,
And
even
I
though
mean,
at some point now I know I'm gonna shit my nappy because I've just been given a
oh,
lapse. That's it. I will mute for that.
okay, all right.
Okay.
I mean, look at Phil. Phil, you've had a really a rough ride yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But look at you today, and these are people
Yeah.
who are godless people.
Godless.
There's no God
That's why I
involved.
said no
There's
God
no
involved.
Jesus involved. There's no Holy
No.
Spirit. But somehow you all go through what you have been through.
Mm-hmm.
Come away on the other end, still have a smile on your face, and
Mm-hmm.
still just living life,
Living life.
being decent and good people. Honestly,
Of course.
I'm so happy to share this space with both of you.
Thank you, Esther.
No, you honestly don't know. You don't know.
And but Esther, you know what? I know the Christians are going to say, "Oh, it's because they pray." They always love to quote
Who prayed?
these things.
Who prayed? Who prayed for you?
The Christian friends or family, they will claim they prayed for me because some of them came and say, "Oh, I'm praying for you," blah blah, and so on. Oh gosh.
Well,
But
I
they
always
will
make
want to
sure.
quote that. But
I always
as I
make
say, it's
sure.
no God involved. I don't believe.
So when the surgeons did their bit, I won't see them again until tomorrow.
Okay.
But the people who were in there, they sort of give you that post-op aftercare.
Yes.
They bring you around and you talk a bit of nonsense to them because you think you're on La La Land, Narnia or something. Apparently, I was going on about Minecraft.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Were you playing Minecraft before you?
I was playing Minecraft in the ward,
Oh, were
and I was
you?
making things. I'm thinking, why isn't this grass block going down? And I'm pointing at the desk where they all sit. And she said, yeah, she kept on. I come round the end and I thank them for my life. I never thank, I'll never thank, a group of people are sitting there in the corner going, oh, we thank God for you, thank God that you're alive. I'll thank them people, and I will thank the surgeons who say, hopefully save my legs tomorrow for my life as well. Because every time you go under in any general anaesthetic, I always think, as they say, will I wake up? But if I was going to go, it would be a good way to go, I believe. You just go to sleep, general pain's gone, everything's gone. You're not going to die slowly over a horrific few weeks after an accident or anything like that.
Painful death.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I'm doing all
God,
right,
let's
man.
hello.
How about that bit of spine removed?
You should get yourself a Nintendo.
Nintendo douche.
Wait, Nintendo. Nintendo.
I've got my iPad here. I'm watching the news on it at the moment.
Doug doesn't get it.
And I've got my PC. I've got World of Warcraft.
You don't get it. Doug, have a look. Have a look at what's written on there. Nintendo.
Yes.
You get it?
Well, I'm looking forward to the bed bath because it's literally roasting here. It's going to be 34 degrees again tomorrow in this area. 36 by the weekend. That has been heard of since in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. I'm doing great, mate.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Well, I'm not doing great. I'm back in a nappy.
You're doing better still. But
I'm out of pain. I've been in pain for far too long,
right.
And now the pain is gone.
Mm.
But, whether I can walk, I'm only 2 inches short. I'm not as short anyway.
And then you trust the medical science. That's it. That's Van Benton. You trust
well, this will be
have my procedure.
The first thing that comes to my mind, Bill.
Yeah.
Is my missus thinking she's going to have to get a load of new shoes with shorter heels on them. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I thought,
Like, oh, okay, yeah,
think
you
that,
know.
and she'll have to have all the matching paraphernalia.
No,
as well.
why does she? No, excuse me, Doug. That's unfair now. Why does she have to change her shoes? You can buy shoes with heels. Men wear heels too. Didn't you know that?
Yeah.
Men wear heels. Yeah.
Yeah, not me though.
No.
I told you I'm not interested. I'm a shoes for work and trainers for play. That's me. Shoes
Okay.
sometimes for going out, but they're just my work shoes. I've got 2 or 3 pairs of shoes. I've got and a pair of wellies for good gardening. And that's it. The missus is got 100. It's like living with a fucking centipede. I'm like,
What?
my God. Well, you're never going to wear half of these. What are you, a centipede?
She needs many legs for those shoes, right? If your wife is a centipede, what will you call me then? I've got more shoes than I need.
You're a centipede then as well.
Oh, I'm more than a centipede. If there's any animal
A
more
millipede. A
more legs
millipede
than a centipede,
is a millipede.
more
A
shoes.
millipede has more legs than a
Those are
centipede.
my weaknesses: shoes, bags, and jewelry. It's fancy jewelry. Oh, please. Just look. I sometimes put Nintendo. Nintendo. Okay. Right. Real men have a Steam Deck. All right. He said so, not me. He said it. It was bro guy who said it, that real men have a Steam Deck. Have both of you got Steam Decks?
No, I don't know what
So
you Steam
you don't
Deck.
have Steam Deck, so you're not real men then. Unfortunately. Dog, get well soon. Baran says to get well soon.
Thank you, Baron.
Okay. Right. Robin? Right. Thank you.
Comfy
Well,
bed,
Robin.
cup of tea, can't go wrong.
Look at him. Look at him in his fancy
The life of Riley.
Mug.
Look at
Great
him.
company on the internet, you know.
Hang on, let me. I
Well,
need
as
to
you've seen, even the nurses staff have got involved in my live stream. I want my crown, my thingo back, my rugby tooth back. Got knocked out.
Is that plastic or ceramic? What's that?
Don't
Plastic.
have back.
No, not your tooth. Not your tooth.
I'm a beautiful smile back.
She means the mug.
Not your tooth. The
mug.
mug
The
you're
mug.
holding in your hand.
I
Never
think
mind.
it's a ceramic one. Yeah, they don't trust us.
Okay.
Well, how
alright.
can you trust some of these people here? A lot of them sling it. There's a lot of mental health people with mental health issues. They'll just throw it in nurses and things like that. Not something that isn't going to break. Bit of sturdiness, of course. Go on, do your video, Esther. I'm putting in.
Okay. All right. So, bro, guy says it's pocket knives are my weakness. I've got 50 pocket knives. Oh, yo, why would they so many pocket knives? Oh my
Different
goodness. Okay.
styles, different styles.
Let's carry on with this video because
Okay.
I need to get out.
He needs
of
a wife.
He's using everything as
A
access
Swiss Army
to,
wife.
to
Boom,
keep
boom.
our test from turning into God's testimony, to keep our mess from turning into God's message. He is doing everything in his power to keep us to focus on only what God has allowed us to go through and to miss why God has allowed us to go through it. He wants all of it to be in vain. His greatest tactic is blame. And he will do everything in an attempt to keep from all glory being brought to God's name. Now, God is not limited to being able to bring good only out of a situation if we are faithful to endure to the end. But when we are truly serving and loving God, and we see how much he sacrificed so that we could have forgiveness, to be a part of bringing glory to his name, how could we not want that? He has already given up everything for us while we were still sinners, and now it's our time to give up everything for him.
Really?
And to know that in all of it, we're not alone. But he calls us to persevere. The story is only getting started. My friend, do not give up there, for there is still much work to do up ahead. Do not give up now. Don't think that just going through the test is enough, because we'll miss the testimony. Don't think that just going through the mess is enough, because we'll miss the message. Yes, and we can't just sit back, feeling that the task is complete, but endure through to the end with the strength that God provides when you ask him. The first thing that Satan wants to do is to completely pull us away from God, to play the blame game, and to blame things on God even though they were never his intention. For God never does and has never created anything evil. Satan wants you to stop seeking God, to no longer look to him.
Okay. I'm sure there's a scripture that says God is the one who creates both
Evil.
good and evil. So
Yes.
unfortunately, that right there is a lie.
Right. And then the mentality of oh my gosh, saying that but it was something he said there that had me triggered just now.
What was
Oh
that?
gosh, I gone from my mind. What something he said just before that.
About the devil blame game?
No, it wasn't the devil blame game. It was something just after that, in relation to God, uh, about God doing, and it was saying that he's again playing into that Stockholm syndrome mentality.
I can
What? It was something he was saying, and my brain was saying, but what about those who? So you're saying then that those who passed or who died
didn't survive.
didn't didn't survive. They did not continue trusting God, or they did not trust God to save them. But I don't know. This is the Stockholm syndrome mentality
It is. It
that
is.
the Christian religion and Abrahamic religions tend to play to use to keep
Mhm.
people in bondage. And the way he's talking, you can clearly see he's given into this slave mentality.
It is.
It's a slave mentality.
It is. It
Where,
is.
where, 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 where he, oh, I am a slave to God. I'm a slave to God. So God gets all the praise.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then how is it? And he said that God, right? God sacrificed, show His love for us with sacrificing
Mhm.
Himself, sacrificing His only Son. But
Yes,
sacrifice, how is not no sacrifice when the son raised 3 days later, and God could raise them again, and is God sacrificing Himself onto Himself,
into himself.
you know,
And
Yes,
for
yes.
something that He created in the first place, but in the first place, and there's no sacrifice because the person then continue. Let me going around the story. Jesus was, according to the story, raised 2.5, 3 days later by the very same
Exactly.
God. So that is not a sacrifice. Come on. Who are they fooling?
Yes. You
It
guys,
is a fool's
you
paradise.
you guys are actually thinking the same thing I'm thinking. That it looks like he's been beaten up. This
yeah,
looks like he's been in
yeah.
an altercation with someone. Yeah.
Well,
So this is
that's a contentious comment because
someone took a bat to him or something. This
we did
Casey
say
Randy
has he
Randy
been
says
doing it?
did the Romans track
Yeah.
the Romans track him down.
But to answer
Hey
Jeff, he did
Casey
mention just
Randy,
before
hello.
you arrived that God wants us to endure as much pain as we can. So, it's contentious. It could be self-inflicted as well. But if it is, this just goes through the insanity that runs through this dubious fucking nonsense.
And God uses your pain to his glory, you see. God steps in your pain and uses that for his benefit.
Well, no, a doctor will have to step in for that eye
God
because
needs you to be in. Yeah, but
chip an eye socket there.
the doctor is not there when you're having pain for his own glory. The doctor steps in to make you better. So you're not in pain, but the God that these people believe, he comes in and uses that for his own benefits. It's all about him. Your pain is about him. Your suffering is about. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. My goodness. Okay, let's finish this video if we can.
And to have misunderstandings separate you from him. He wants your
Misunderstanding.
questions to be what moves you farther from the Lord. He wants you to miss the truth that though Satan is in control of the world, God is in charge. The second thing that Satan wants you to do, if you make it through the first obstacle and do not give up on God, his second tactic would try to be to you to get to settle, to sit back, or to become complacent in that suffering, so that you will not go through unto the end, that you miss the significance of the suffering. He will try to point out all the places that you have an opportunity to justify yourself, to not forgive someone, or to entice you into entitlement. He will try to pull your attention off the eternal and get you to focus on menial or temporary things. It is all to try to keep you from seeing how great of an opportunity is when we choose to take that suffering and place it into God's hands, who is able. He doesn't want you to take it seriously, but do not fall into those things, for these are lies and will make it all in vain. Only God is just. And as you look at Scripture as a whole, you see repeatedly in how God deals with his people from the beginning in Genesis to the end in Revelation, that what the enemy intends for evil, God can bring together for good. And when he starts showing you, do not forget to write it down. For the word of God says that God's people perish because of their lack of knowledge. The greatest destruction ever caused to God's people is when they forgot to tell the next generation of all that God had done for them, of the provision he provided and the deliverance that he demonstrated. So do not forget God's faithfulness, but write it down. Do not forget to write these testimonies, to document conversations, to record videos, and include details so that you can fully draw all that God has for you to find through this time, to press with all that you have and all that you are in order to completely obtain everything that God is going to bring about through this if we endure. Make this place an altar, standing on the ground that you are, the grounding and the mile marker of remembrance, seeing the faithfulness of God for each time we are reminded of this hardship. And that will be able to push us further to endure the next. And for the questions of, but why? Why this way? Why this time? Why this long? My friends, even though you may not understand, remain faithful to trust God by looking back in all he has already done. For it may not make any sense now, but keep pressing on, continue to seek them, and make this your grounding, that he loved you enough to not only send his own son, to not hold back from sending the greatest gift he had to offer in Jesus. How? In all of that. If he wasn't even willing to spare his own son for you, while we were still sinners, how could he hold back his...
Unfortunately, a God that could not spare his own son, I don't want that God's love.
You know?
A God that
Definitely
could not look on his own son and think, you know what, I love you too much to do that to you. I'll find another means. I'll find another way to do this than to... If he could not spare his only son, then sorry, he doesn't love us. A God that can do that to his son, you think I want anything to do with that God? He probably would do worse to me than he would his own son. So no.
Well, Donald Trump recently threw his own daughter and son under the bus to save his own skin.
Oh, gosh.
Does that make him God?
Well, if you're going by this logic, then yeah, that's what God does. God throws his own son under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. We know this. You know. We know this.
God threw Jesus under the bus.
Well, basically, yes. But we know, you know, that goes way back to respect. Respect your this infanticide throughout the Bible with these child sacrifices, just for answering your parents back. You know, it's a commandment. Thou shalt respect thy mothers and fathers. So we know that killing children means nothing to these people. It means absolutely nothing.
Kitty says, let's give him a break. He's had a concussion. He doesn't know what he's talking about. he's
me?
No.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
Well, he talks the same nonsense as most of these fundamentalists do. And it is, he seems to be reading it like he's reading it off a Frank Turek speech. I think he's watching Frank Turek and reading it word for word. I doubt he'd be able to answer any questions thrown at him. But it's got that similar vibe as these apologetics that talk absolute woo. And I don't think he has the mental capacity to, invent his own philosophy into it about his beliefs and about how he feels about what God is. He just seems to be parroting other
Crystal Methodist.
That's one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Crystal
Crystal
Methodist.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh,
I shouldn't be belly laughing because it does hurt.
oh, I know. I apologize. Talk.
No,
Never
no,
mind.
that's well.
This video is
okay.
nearly done. Video is nearly done, so I can get myself off here.
That
Okay.
is so good.
Oh, my.
They may make the last
Crystal Methodist.
His mercy, his peace, his compassion, his purpose through any and everything that you are going through. And in what seems to be intended for evil, be reminded that God always can bring it together for good. I mean, he used a Roman cross, one of the greatest instruments for suffering, as a symbol to bring salvation through his son to all people on earth. And God used a tomb. A grave is the greatest grounding of death, the loss of all hope, and the end of it all, as the very foundation for the beginning of the greatest victory to come when he raised his son to life again. Jesus Christ is risen. And because of that, evil has been conquered, death has been destroyed, and sin has been overcome for every person that chooses to call upon his name, to trust him as their savior. So when you're suffering, this season of mourning, this time of grieving, a diagnosis or a car accident, a horrific or chronic illness, or standing in the face of death, when you have endured suffering, when you have faced hardship for God in Christ, do not let a single bit of it go to waste. Do not let any of it be in vain, but allow God to work through you to bring the highest glory to his name.
Do not let your suffering go to waste. Do not let your suffering
go to waste. Yeah, boy.
Do not let
Jeff Godler's scum is more aware of these apologetics and what they on YouTube, and he can paraphrase whatever they say, and he'd probably be great in here at the moment. Oh no, joke away.
Yeah.
I'll just there to contain it.
It does help. It does help. I can tell you that.
Don't take this fun away.
I was in that position somewhere. Having jokes do help keep your mind, take off the issue, the pain, and so on. And
to be fair, Phil,
healing and helping. I know.
You know, to be fair, Phil, you're another guy's copied my look. It's quite popular for middle-aged sex symbols like me. Bruce Willis, he copied my look. You know, bald and stupid. That's the sort of thing I'm going for. It works for me. It doesn't work for a lot of people. I don't mean stupid. I mean acting stupid, I should say.
But both of us are bald, you know. So.
What kind of dog is that? NTB Noble. That's a lovely looking dog. What breed is that? The people who know about dogs. Okay. Oh, so both of you are bald. Well, I've got some alopecia. I do. So I'm not entirely bald, but I've got alopecia. So I don't think I'll ever go completely bald, but here. So sometimes, I have to put on some wigs and some, fancy stuff all over my head. But never mind.
Maybe I should put on a wig then.
Huh?
Post a link for Jeff.
Post a link.
I think is
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to read this.
Is intelligent. Would work well here.
Okay, so Odin sacrificed himself by throwing himself on a spear and then hung from a tree for 9 days. 9 solid days to gain knowledge. Does anyone else think these mythologies borrow from each other? I think Odin even did a better, that was a much better sacrifice, in my opinion. That's a much better sacrifice, right? 9 days.
To gain knowledge.
Let's have a look here.
At least Odin was saying, I'm not all knowing, so let me gain some knowledge here. The God of Yahweh pretends he knows everything.
He pretends to know it.
And then have regret for creating man.
Well, I know in Hinduism, the likes of the flood myth was from the god Manu. who was washing his water from a jar. To be fair,
Mm.
you know, it's weird, but it's the same sort of. You know, everyone died and whatnot, and you know, you're going back thousands, but nearly all the religions of that day had a flood myth because it made that
Because
nonsense.
they had
You
floods
know,
around their area.
yeah, it made that nonsense quite funny.
Terrible. Anyway, Jeff said, "Give him a few minutes." Well,
Yeah,
I can only stop for another 10 minutes.
Well,
So
I think Jeff can articulate it a lot better than
yeah,
me because I'm quite
absolutely.
blunt and to the point. Jeff can articulate what I mean a lot
I
better.
know. I know
But,
that. I
but
trust Jeff.
he is sort of using this. You know, he's like on the Darth Dawkins sort of narrative.
Yes.
Let's
yes.
say he's just
Darth
basically
Dawkins.
parrot-fashion the nonsense that comes with what is Christianity.
Right. So yes. So that dog is her name is Asata. Oh, nice
An
name.
American Staffordshire Bull
American Staffordshire Terrier.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Staffordshire Bull Terrier or a
Bull
Pit
Terrier. Oh, nice. Okay, let's carry on with this video.
Here's our responsibility during this time. First, pray diligently and continuously. Search and study scriptures intently. Seek God now with all that you have and all that you are. Place your faith over your feelings and your love for God over your desire to understand. Focus wholeheartedly on doing whatever it takes, whatever it needs to be done to record God's faithfulness, to write down testimonies, to record videos, to document conversations with excellence and with great detail, so we do not miss a single thing in this time. And understand that God is the God of the impossible. He is not only going to use what he is teaching you to grow your faith, but God can take your testimony to later encourage others who are walking through the same thing, and eventually use this very same message for you, others, and to bring glory to his name to every person on this earth. That's who God is. That's how able he is. So endure the suffering. Endure till the end. Do not give up. Press on and stay focused in seeking God even when you do not understand. Who is going to harm you if you are eager to do good? But even if you should suffer for what is right, you are blessed. Do not fear their threats. Do not be frightened. But in your hearts, revere Christ Jesus as Lord.
Gosh.
Well,
Yeah, he's just saying what they all them types say. You know, you got Frank Turek, you've got well, what's his name? What's the one that hangs around school gates picking up young boys?
Toby.
Sorry?
You mean the UK one?
No, he's American.
Oh, I don't know. Who is it?
Yeah, it'll come to me.
Okay. Hey, God bless, Kama. Hello. Good to see you here.
Hello.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us.
Jeff, can you explain what I was trying to explain?
Oh, it's
You're
a little
lot more
difficult, dog.
than I am.
It's a little difficult, dog, because I only sort of came in halfway through that, so I was trying to get a bit of a thing about who this guy was and what he was about. It was all very preachy. It wasn't really, you know, wasn't there?
Yeah, I was on about
it so much as an apologetic as such. It was just a bit of a preachy thing to me.
Yeah, as a narrative, like he was reading from another apologetic type.
I must have missed. Maybe he addressed this earlier in the video. I don't know what happened to him.
He didn't say.
We don't know. We don't. He didn't mention a God wanting us to endure, you know, as much pain as we can handle. So I'm beginning to think it could have been self-inflicted.
I don't know. No, that looks like either an accident or someone's done it to him. I don't. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
So.
And because he said he can't remember what happened to him. Right. So, but something
he could have thrown himself off a train.
But you know, Christians. I know Christians tend to use those sort of events that like accidents and so on to try to promote this thing that God has a plan, etc. And as I was saying to Esther, Doris, I was saying that they fall into this Stockholm syndrome type of thinking. We know that the God is a fictional God, but when you look through the Old Testament, you can see that the God is abusive. It's basically an abusive spouse type.
The version of, I mean, the God that is
even in both in the Abrahamic religions. That's but Abrahamic religions.
Well, the God, because the God that's portrayed in the Abrahamic religions, it is a pretty nasty character all around, and there's no no sort of way around that. I'll sort of paraphrase something sort of Stephen Fry said. Do you remember when he got they tried to do him for blasphemy in Ireland over something he said over in an interview when they still had the blasphemy laws there? But where he
come on, Jeff, God let a guy live in a whale for a year.
But he said, he was asked this kind of question about, look, let's say, when you die, you find out you're wrong. This is what the interviewer was saying, and he said, what would you say to that God? He said, well, how dare you? Whatever. But he also sort of said, look, if it was like the Greek, if it turns out, you died, it was the Greek gods or whatever were the real gods, probably wouldn't have so much of a problem with it because at least they never pretended to be anything like other than human in their appetites and pettiness and so on. And similar thing with a lot of I love Norse mythology, for example. I mean, that was where I sort of used to be at when I did believe in gods. I was into Norse stuff.
Right.
But those beings never also portrayed themselves in any of the mythologies as all knowing, all wise, all loving, all caring, and then they're not presented in that way. So I can kind of get behind that a little bit more,
Also, Jeff, there's plenty more Asterix lore for you and Noodle to ponder.
I don't know. I don't know whether we're really gonna resume that series at all anytime soon because I think we kind of got burned out on it, to be honest. So.
Well, you could burn out on the books, but there's plenty more of that world that is.
Well, there's been at least one new book that's come out, but I just think we got kind of burned out on the whole thing, to be honest, Dog. So.
Well, Asterix got woke. Will that be the new book?
Well, apparently the last one was actually criticised for being politically correct, but if anything, if those books. To be honest, it was actually we felt we were at a point where we actually felt they could do with being a little more woke than they were because some of their cartoons and depictions were just. I mean, they weren't great in the 1960s, to be honest, but they shouldn't be.
They
should not be blooming drawing. It was not right to draw black people that way then. It's certainly not okay to draw them that way now. So we got you can see why we got a little burned out on them.
Well, but that's not. That's just you. You were pointing out this fact. You weren't. You weren't upholding it as great.
Yeah. Oh no, we were. I mean, you got to remember, I was doing this for Noodle, who is mixed race. So
absolutely,
it hit. It hit very, very close to home with Noodle. A lot of this stuff. So So.
Well, that's why she don't criticise it. You did criticise it more than you did praise it.
Oh yeah, I mean we praised it where it was worthy of it, and then criticised.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I think we're a bit off track here with that series, but
Yes. What's next, Esther?
Esther just had to deal with the bird. Oh, she's back. Yeah.
What have we got lined up next, Esther? It's only early.
So Douglas, you have come across that usual apologetic about free will when we talk about these things, the evils
Kitty.
and so on.
So, sorry, I missed what you said
You
then
know the
about
usual apologetics about free will when we're talking about suffering, when we raise the point of suffering as to show that this God is not good. They talk about violation of free will.
Hey, it's your ex.
Yeah, it's all very confusing. It's just the more and more you try to make sense of what they're trying to say, like apologetics, the less and less sense it makes to me. It's the only way I can really,
Because earlier we had shown a meme that I saw on Instagram where it talks about how the work of Adam is universal and condemns you without your free will, but the work of Jesus is not universal and cannot save you without your free will.
I just I don't get it. And then you got like people like Calvinists who think everything's predetermined anyway. So
predestination,
which is like, but then it sort of says, but then I'm like then when I speak to a Calvinist, I say, well, why bother preaching to me if you think this is all predetermined anyway? What's the point in preaching?
Mm-hmm.
And then they say they don't know, we don't have that knowledge, so we still have to preach. I know that
it's very baffling to me, because that real nutty sect in America, Westboro Baptist Church, they're kind of Calvin, they're sort of Calvinist in their approach and whatever, and it's like, well, if everything's predetermined anyway, why are you even bothering going out and doing all those horrible little stunts they're doing? Because it's not. There's no point in this. There's literally, to me, if everything's predetermined, there's not much point in preaching anyway.
Mm-hmm. But for the Calvinists, it's really there is a term that they use called acronym TULE, total depravity, unconditional election, which I think is predestination, limited atonement, irresistible grace, and perseverance. That's the thing, but the thing is in there.
I've put the link to Godless Commer's channel in the chat, so please guys go subscribe to Godless Commer. Until X, good to see you.
You're on Facebook, you're live on Facebook as well then, Esther, I see.
I am, yes. Usually what I do when I come on here, I just go on Facebook as well. So usually, not every time. I don't have much followers on Facebook, but I just still stream on there because some people just love their Facebook. I'm not a Facebook person at all. I can happily live my life without Facebook. Some people just cannot survive without that thing.
People need that daily dose of seeing what someone else is having for their dinner.
No thanks. No.
With the caption "nom nom 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 nom" written on it.
Mm-hmm. So some people they would just some people feel like everything they do they've got to put it online. Everyone needs to see. I bought a new pair of shoes. Here you go. I had my new hair done. Here you go. I don't know. I've never really understood that. I've never understood why people feel the need to publicize everything about their lives. I mean, there's a lady who on Facebook, every single post always has to be something bad. She's in hospital. She's caught COVID 3 times. She's had all the vaccines. She's moaning about something or someone. It's so frustrating. Every time I see
some people need it to get themselves through the day for some reason, but
Well, that's it. oh no, Sophie Jones's dad died suddenly for no reason whatsoever. I'm gonna like that.
Can
Like,
you imagine? Mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
Oh boy,
ridiculous.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't been. I've got to be honest. I haven't really been looking at, should we say, high end, the higher end of Christian apologetics for a while. Which I don't think this
High end.
last video. Yeah, let's be honest. The last video we played definitely wasn't the high end, but
No.
of course, because I got I just say after the end of last week, I got just a little distracted by Matt Powell being an arsehole. So
Oh,
I felt he needed. I felt he needed taking down a peg.
You must have noticed by now that I don't do the high end Christian apologetics. I really don't have that. There's enough people dealing with that. I go for the low end. I go for the
Well,
worst
Cross,
case
you go for
scenario.
G-Man.
Those ones.
Esther, I'm
No.
going to say you do go for G-Man and Shani, and they
G-Man
are
is the
the
low end.
lowest
Not
hanging fruit.
every. Come on, not every time. Not every time. Just once in a
No,
while.
but I
They
mean,
are mentioned every single stream, even this one.
G-Man,
You're obsessed with
G-Man
him.
to me. No, I won't. I do this thing. I won't do a G-Man video because I just feel like it's. I feel like I'd be slapping a child. That's just to me, you know. You know, I feel like I'd be beating a kid to pick on G-Man because he's just such an idiot.
I think with G-Man is because many things he speaks of. This is something I once believed. This is something I was very much like a G-Man.
Yeah.
Maybe not as hateful and not as vile a character, but
right.
you know.
Oh yeah, G-Man's a lunatic. I mean, G-Man is a lunatic. There's something wrong with him. You know.
Yeah.
But
I conclude. I came to that conclusion too.
yeah, I mean, because there was. I mean, the thing is that
Shani and Rev.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that to me, they're low hanging fruit. That's why I tend to stay away from them. But yeah, G-Man. I mean, a lot of people used
G-Man
to debate.
Doolittle. He can talk to the animal.
A lot of people used to debate with him back in the day, and I just realised that you can't have a sensible conversation with him because his idea of having a debate or a discussion is just to come in and shout over everyone, and that's all he does. So it's like you can't. And to him, he thinks that's winning a debate. You know,
he always wins. G-Man wins every debate.
Unlike all these people, they just end up just focusing on drama.
G-Man winning is what philosophers would call a metaphysical necessity.
Mm-hmm.
He always wins.
Or a physical impossibility.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose he's capable of winning against, a deaf, dumb, and blind person who's got no concept of what anything is. He was born that way. I suppose, he could win in that sort of debate and probably a fight as well. G-Man, yeah.
Whatever.
As I say.
Oh, sorry, my internet clapped out for a second there, but I was going to say I had heard
the way G-Man is with Shani, he's interested.
I don't follow it honestly, but I don't follow it. I did hear that he actually did win a debate once, but I haven't actually seen it, so I can't comment. But I did hear a rumor that. I heard a rumor that he won a debate once, but I haven't watched it.
He wins as many debates as Kent Hovind.
Oh, he adores Kent.
I will say I've seen Hovind win a few debates, not because his arguments are any good, but because Kent Hovind is sometimes, I'll just say if you're going to do debates or whatever, Kent Hovind's not a guy you want to cut your teeth with because he does know how to get under the skin of his interlocutor, and he's done that a few times. That's very much so.
Did he debate a newborn?
What I heard was that he beat Godless Engineer in a debate, but I have not watched that, and I find that very difficult to believe because Godless Engineer is not an
No,
idiot.
he didn't beat God.
Yeah, it's
No,
far from it.
no.
No,
I think what sometimes G-Man does too. He actually declares he wins, then he has actually lost, and people picked up on that and spread some rumors.
I haven't watched it. If I was to just be a guessing man, bear in mind I haven't watched it. More likely, Godless Engineer probably tried to have a civil conversation with him, and G-Man just shouted over him. That's probably what happened. Because GE, when I've ever seen him do debates, he's at least trying to get the other person's actual position. So. Sometimes I will say, slight critic to him, sometimes he's been a little overly charitable to one or two people, and that's probably what happened there. But I like I said, I'm only heard this sort of second hand, so I didn't actually watch it, so I can't say for certain.
But yeah,
I'm going to throw in an offer to Godless Scammer. How about Godless Scammer? We review that video, me and you, between Godless Engineer and G-Man.
See, look, G-Man again.
Oh no, I can't. I cannot. I cannot watch G-Man.
I wasn't expecting you to say yes. G-Man. I wasn't expecting you to say yes. So if you had said yes, I'd be.
I was going to say surprised. I thought we were friends.
We are friends. We are friends.
Yeah. Do that to you. Only friends can do that.
And Jeff was correct about it. Like the likes of Ken Hovind and Darth Dawkins, you have this format where they sort of will back the unaware debatee into a philosophical corner where they come out fighting and just saying stupid things.
Darth Dawkins has he's got this kind of script that he runs to.
As I say,
and Darth, if anyone's ever watched him, he's always leading the conversation. He won't answer questions. He always wants to be the one asking the questions. He won't actually answer a question himself. But I've seen a couple of people. I think two people I've seen who've handled him very well. Was Shannon Q, I think, handled Darth Dawkins quite well, and Atheist Pastor messed him up brilliantly.
He just asked him his questions back to him.
Well, Atheist Pastor basically just turned his arguments back on him, and said, because he was just jokingly said. So Darth asked him, "Are you an atheist?" And Atheist Pastor turned around and said, "No, actually, I'm a Hindu. I converted this morning. I had a divine revelation." And so he was going all through Darth's, like applying to Hinduism, all of Darth's bad Christian apologetics to sort of mess with Darth. And it was quite funny to watch.
Rhetoric.
Darth is on. He's very much on. Very active on Clubhouse these days. I mean, I've watched.
He won't go. He doesn't really go on YouTube. He tends to sit in his Discord server now. He doesn't seem to.
He's also on Clubhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, but now maybe he's burned a lot of bridges, or I don't know. He doesn't seem to go onto like YouTube channels to do debates anymore. And I think maybe because he's got messed up once or twice too many. So.
Do you know this person by any chance? Godless Scammer. Do you know John Lee?
Who?
Have you ever heard of John Lee?
John Lee.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is he a Calvinist?
Well,
I think so.
It depends on who he's speaking to. One day he's Calvinist, next day he's not a Calvinist. Depends on who he's talking to.
He's one.
Him and Darth seem to be in and out of his friendship. 1 minute they're friends, next minute Darth's blocked him, and he's very much on Clubhouse. I do, but my God, he's frustrating. Similar with Darth Dawkins and Otangelo. They're always sort of
friends and then they're not friends, you know, so they're very similar as well. He's Otangelo's one of the few guys I've actually banned from my live chat. He's not welcome around my channel.
Yeah. He's on your Wackatheus list.
But he's got so many stock accounts, though. He's got so many stock accounts. He does.
Yeah, but you can tell Otangelo because he tries to prove God with bad scientific theories that he believes are correct. And
the funniest thing is he links his sources or whatever, and his source is his own blog.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like
all those things is always all those scripts he's always reading is his own blog.
Well, the thing is as well, like when he does quote people, it's usually really bad. It's stuff that's already been utterly debunked. Like the one thing he'll always go on about is the Shroud of Turin, and that is everyone kind of knows that is not a genuine
shroud.
Yeah, he will go to that every time, and everybody knows that the Shroud of Turin is not a genuine artifact.
Well, also, you know, did they wrap the body of Jesus, or did they just, you know, lay a blanket over him? Because that's how they've done
radiometric dating on this thing. It goes to it only goes back to like the
century, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
And all them St. Christophers that were sold with a little tiny piece of fabric that was meant to be from the Shroud of Turin, probably sold by the same people who sold you some mug of star or an acre on the moon.
How many church, especially Catholic churches throughout the world, are there that have got fragments of the true cross, the one that Jesus is crucified on?
Oh, absolutely,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but even though they have no record of him being crucified, because if you had a record of this man, and back in the day, the Catholics were staunch record keepers because they know who was crucified. They have lists of people, and none says
the Romans were very, the Romans were very, very good record keepers. Now, I'll say I differ from some people in the atheist community. I'm not a Jesus mythicist. I tend to think that there was a historical, or at least semi-historical figure somewhere at the center of it. I tend to go with the most historians on that. But it's not something a fight I haven't majorly invested in one way or the other. I have called out mythicists for bad history at times.
Orange. Someone called him an orange tangerine. Oh my goodness!
But
and yet the Romans never mentioned anything about Jesus.
I messaged the missus.
There was
slightly and said I'm on here, so she can watch and see how well I'm doing. I'm having a good laugh. And just find out who them gullible ones are. She knows who them gullible ones are who did buy an acre of the moon and a star. Silly woman.
Well, there's there were one or two mentions. There's the Jewish historian Josephus. Now, before everybody jumps down my throat here, yes, I know that at least one of Josephus's mentions of Jesus, we do know was something that was added later, well after the time. There's one other mention of this figure by Josephus that might be genuine, but it doesn't really say too much about it. Just notes that this guy existed. This was a sort of minor little preacher or whatever that existed, or something that had a little bit of a following. But there was definitely some, so there's one entry by Josephus that might very well be genuine. There's another one that definitely was a later entry that we think Christians kind of tampered with. Yeah.
Are you talking about the extant manuscripts, Jeff?
I can't remember the documents. It's been a while since I've read it all. I would say I definitely would. I always recommend people or check out Tim O'Neill's blog, History for Atheists. That's a really good resource because there are a lot of. I will say there's a lot of atheists who have a tendency to repeat some bad history at times because it's a little more emotionally appealing to us. But yeah, we've got to be a little careful on certain things. And this is why, like, Jesus mythicism is very, very appealing to atheists, because if you can like get behind the argument that Jesus never existed, well then, you know, by definition, Christianity has to be completely false then, doesn't it? So I see why there's an emotional appeal to it, but it's not really the way to look at history.
Also, the Roman Flavius Josephus, was he real also?
Oh, Josephus,
No,
yeah, Josephus was real.
Gigas Dicus or Silius Sodus.
Well, I would tell you this.
Maximus.
Yeah, I know where you're going there, Dog, but I will tell you this, that there was one Jesus mythicist called Joseph Atwill who wrote this book called Caesar's Messiah, and it essentially accused Josephus of being the person who made up Jesus, and it is some of the worst history I've ever read in my life. It is absolute bollocks, and I will just tell you, anyone now, do not waste money on that book. That it is absolutely crap history, and
because the Messiah was mentioned in the Old Testament in the book of Proverbs, Daniel, which was basically a book of premonitions, wasn't it? Really. The book of Daniel, it was basically the book of Daniel was similar to Revelations, where they just run out of things to write. So let's just write any old shit, make any old shit up and say that happened, or this is going to happen in the future, which as to date, none ever has. But they do claim that the Messiah was. But who's to say if Jesus did exist? He saw, he was a simple magician that you could do, I got your nose, and them sort of magic tricks, which would have astounded the.
I think the British people in the audience will probably, certainly if our age, Dog, will get this reference. There's a pair of comedians called Smith and Jones. They did a sketch once, and it was like the Jesus turning water into wine, and it does showing the miracle, and everyone's like, wow. And then the next thing, Jesus gets out a pack of cards to go, someone pick a card, any card at all.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
it's actually on YouTube.
Oh, so I'll have to look that up.
You say Smith and Jones?
Yeah, do you remember them, Esther?
The show was called Alas Smith and Jones.
I think you're a few years younger than me, Esther. I don't know if you remember Mel Smith and Griff Jones. I don't.
What's Godless Comma trying to say? I'm an old woman, or what?
No.
I'm saying I'm an old man. I think you're a few years younger than me.
I'm kidding.
I don't know if you're. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I knew you were trying to be. Yes, I've heard of that show, but to be honest, I don't remember ever watching it at all. No. So I will definitely go and check it out myself. You said they did something about Jesus, yes?
Yeah, there was kind of a sketch. Like they did a couple of sketches around Jesus's miracles, and then so they do the water into wine thing, and then they get him to do like pick a card, any card at all. Like that was his next trick. Yeah.
Was it trick?
That was which show? What was it called?
Oh,
Smith and you just
Smith and Jones. Yeah, Smith and Jones. They were
Smith.
Yeah.
And Jones. Let's see. Let me.
Yeah, Smith and Jones. Jones.
Well, yeah, you know, the internet these days is what it'll always be what is trending and what is fashion. And I have to admit that I'm quite addicted to it, as ridiculous as it is. And I've said this before: these Americans reacting to British comedy and reacting to British, you know, films like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and things like that. It's really addictive, and these guys will start a channel, and a month later they've got 250,000 followers.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, isn't it? Especially if you're an American, do reactions to British comedy, your channel will grow very quickly. There is actually, I will mention one girl who I do quite like, because she's an American who lives in the UK and has been reacting to stuff. Got a girl called Amanda Ray. Yeah, I follow her. She did a reaction to Dave Allen's routine on religion, and she just laughed her ass. She just
I love the way she's got that piggy snort as well. She actually does react.
Oh yeah, she did the whole snort laugh, didn't she? She just cracked up that much.
But Jeff, it's so addictive. It's incredibly addictive for some reason, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is, Dog, this is just my opinion on it. When you see, like should we say, like Americans reacting to British humour and seeing it for the first time, it kind of, I feel, takes us, even though we've watched these clips like hundreds of times, like I don't know, like the Two Ronnies, Four Candles sketch, it kind of takes us back to the time when we first saw it. Feel like a genuine first reaction to something that was really funny. It sort of puts us in that space where we get a little bit of that feeling of the first time we saw some sketch and it really made us laugh or whatever. That's kind of what I think the appeal is.
The ones they don't seem to get are the shows like Love Thy Neighbour and Alf Garnett.
Well,
they seem to turn their noses at that because they're incredibly racist.
Well, yeah. Well, America had their own version of Alf Garnett, character called Archie Bunker, which was a takeoff on. Yeah, that stuff was. But the whole point of that show, the problem with that show,
it was a highlight back in the days.
Yeah, the thing with those shows, though, you got to remember, Dog, is that show was supposed to. The point of the show was supposed to ridicule people who were bigots, like Alf Garnett, like who were racists or sexists and homophobes, whatever. I think, sadly, it had a bit of an effect that the people that found it most funny were the people they were actually trying to ridicule. And unfortunately, a lot of the bigots watched this and felt empowered enough to be bigots because this is on the TV. So there was a bit of a so it maybe didn't have the desired effects that it was intended to have.
Absolutely not. But
I'm sorry, we've gone way off. We've gone way off topic here.
Yes. Come on, Esther. You must have some. Have you actually run out of African stage shows to show us?
I think she just stepped away for a few minutes. Yeah,
the Africans put on these elaborate stage shows of bringing people back to life. Banishing demons out of young children and all sorts.
Is the superstition, sort of plain superstition on people, especially poor people who want something to grasp onto, to hope for, and to deliver them from their quote unquote demons. I think something that is what happens.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised soon if Africa doesn't have a sort of Oscar style for religious shows.
Yes.
You know, best actor, best actress, best performer. You know, all of that.
But even
best song. Well, we know "Dropping for Jesus" is the best song for now.
And sometimes even when you watch their Nollywood, let's say for example some Nollywood movies, they do make reference to. I guess they're trying because they're portraying the African culture in their area that they make references to religion. But I've seen, I think, a few that poke a little fun at religion and give some balance. But the majority, of course, when they portray some aspect of religion in there. I because you see, some years ago, Barbados was like that many years ago, but as the persons became more educated, yes, a lot of them was to talk about God, but um, the extremism that I see, the extreme that I see in Africa reminds me of what was being here many years ago.
Mm.
But to be fair, Phil,
Yeah.
I was in Barbados for a holiday about probably 9 years ago. Obviously staying in Bridgetown, there's nowhere else to go.
You're right.
And it was I didn't see any difference than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Still highly religious.
20 years ago, yeah, 30 years ago, yeah.
Well, it's the other time I visited because I love that part of the Caribbean, Trinidad, Tobago, and things like that. I love going to that place.
Yeah, I've
So
never
you
been
said
to
it
the
was 9
Caribbean.
years
So.
ago, though?
But yeah, I didn't see any difference in Bridgetown as I saw. Well, obviously, even
as
though
I
I'm not.
said,
Sorry, mate.
as I said, because no, but what I'm seeing there for what I see there in the African situation, I can tell you that Barbados was like that many years ago. They still have persons who do believe in, you got to fight against principalities and so on, but they have moved away somewhat from that extremism. A lot of persons have. And yes, you still see elements of that because the government here panders to Christianity. And you're going to get groups like that here where the people don't want the government to remove God out of the Constitution. And people still, those groups are still homophobic and don't want the LGBTQ, anti-LGBTQ laws removed from the law books and so on. But there are more people are pushing back against that. But it's still really very highly religious. But to the extent that I see from those videos of Africa, we were there at one time. And as more persons become educated, they gradually move away from that extremism. But they're still having that mentality somewhat, but they're not as that extreme.
Yeah, I did notice it's quite progressive Christianity in Barbados.
Yeah, more
Which is a
more
good
so,
thing. Progression is good.
especially among the Anglican
Episcopalians.
Episcopalians. More so among Episcopalians, you'll find that than evangelicals. I can tell you, I grew up in evangelical. I went to Anglican. I've been to all sorts of denominations and come in contact. I can tell you.
Well, evangelicalism is basically fundamentalism.
Yeah, it is fundamentalism.
See, the Catholics tried progression, or pretended to try progression once. It was basically just an excuse so they can make a load of apologies for the crap they've done over the centuries. But they went straight back to their old nonsense and their old ways, which in a few more centuries they'll pretend to be progressive again and then apologise for another load of old crap they've done, atrocities basically that they've done over the years. But that's the way they work. You can't fool us, stupid Christianity.
Okay.
And you've had Jellicles. It was basically just you've got a date, haven't you, Esther?
No, not a date. No date
All
tonight. Just having a drink with some friends. That's all.
Invite
No
them
date.
round.
Yeah, no
Have them on the
date.
show. Great.
Have them on the show.
Yeah.
They don't need this stuff.
Case of beers or wine or whatever you're into.
Oh, come on. Esther's got to have a life outside of
Life
YouTube. Here. Come on.
outside of correct.
These
If I
people
can't have a
have-
life out, no one else can. I'm stuck here in this
people
fucking
have
hospital.
no time for this, all this talk here. They've got no time for that. They're busy doing their thing, minding their business. They've got no time for all this God talk. Oh, no. So no.
I'm
The
bedridden. The world is bedridden. Fact. Simple. Get
So we
used to it,
all
guys.
must suffer. We all must suffer.
To be fair, I'm not suffering. I haven't felt this good for, although I can't move, I haven't felt this pain-free and good for
You know what,
a
Doug?
long time.
You know what, Doug? Save a space for me right next to you. So Scoots, move. I'm on my
Well, I'll
way.
get the nurse to
Where are my
scooch
car
me up.
keys?
You're more than welcome.
My car keys. Off I go to Norfolk.
You can wear it. What side do you want? Do you want the pad? Do you want the pad side with the news on, or do you want the laptop side? Where you can
Laptop
watch
side.
YouTube. All right.
The laptop
I'll
side.
operate the mouse.
I can watch YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want the smelly side. No, thanks.
Well, yeah. You'll have to be the little spoon.
Mm-hmm. Has the thing kicked in yet? The what you had, the suppository.
No, I don't know. I haven't checked that. I can't smell anything. I wouldn't know if I've gone or not. See, because I've got no feeling down there whatsoever.
Right.
I literally have no feeling. No pelvic floor, whatever. I'm sure I'll smell it.
He's still with us anyway, dogs. I mean,
Yeah, I was talking about.
I was just thinking. First time I met you, Dog, was on Hopswatch's channel, and he sadly passed away a few weeks ago. So
Wow.
that was, that was bad.
I'm sure I saw the first time I ever talked to Hopswatch. I'm sure it was on Math Pig's channel. I think it was Math Pig. I'm not 100%. I don't remember. I think it was Math.
Yeah, lovely guy. Really
Lovely
was.
man. Yeah.
Math Pig seems to introduce most people to each other, to be honest, over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I like Robbie. He has me on his channel as well.
I haven't spoke to him in ages actually, but he's always streaming at a time when he always seems to be streaming when I'm going to sleep. So
he streams at really odd hours. Math Pig.
Pig.
P-I-G. Math Pig.
Oh, Math Pig.
Yes, I'll type it in private chat now.
Yeah.
Although I'm quite blatant and blunt, and I do, I don't mean to say the wrong thing, but I do put my foot in my mouth a lot. Not intentional, but people seem to get it and know it's me and like me for it. You know, I'm a bit honest. That's all. I don't think there's no harm in that.
Absolutely, you're just one amazing man. You are, Dog. I mean,
well,
it's been a delight. I mean, knowing you and just chatting with
the
you.
hospital I mean, my body is definitely going to their chop shop, so they can chop me up into sushi. And
you're
see
not
what they've done to me over the years for their medical students, because it is a learning hospital.
At the end of the day, you're not called Dog the Almighty for nothing.
Absolutely.
You realize
Dave on his channel still has me down as Dog Botherer.
Dog Botherer?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Amber.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A Dog Botherer.
Excuse me, I'm...
Listen, and I need to go now.
You're right.
Okay. So I don't keep my my friends' faces shoes on.
Oh no, no.
Keep my my friends' faces. Okay, I'm trying to get the link for.
Math Pig.
Oh gosh, what's he having done? You sure
blood
you
pressure.
want to show this to us? If it's just blood pressure, then that's fine. As long as they're not.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Let's try. Should we? Oh, so should we talk about Matt Powell just so we can get Dog's blood pressure really high for the next
Oh my
couple of
goodness,
seconds?
not Matt Powell.
Oh gosh.
You want
Just
the
so we
nurses
can
to, you want the nurses to rush him back into theatre in a second.
Yeah, just
Oh,
what do we
God.
say? Just to get Dog's blood pressure really up. Yeah.
Stig's link in there.
Huh?
Private chat, my Stig link.
To put Matt Pig. Okay,
Yeah,
yes. Dr.
temperature's
Cyrus.
perfect, by the
Right
way.
there.
So
Your
just wait for
temperature's
the
perfect.
just
My
wait.
blood pressure's perfect. 137/81.
Look, perfect blood. What's the heart rate like?
92.
Let's see.
That's
Perfect.
not bad.
That's a bit
Damn,
higher.
yeah.
isn't it?
A little
Yeah.
bit, but I'm not worried.
Well, I'm
Not
excited because
okay.
I'm on one of the most famous YouTubers in the world's channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Her name is the African Humanist. You should follow her and look at minute 2:35 and 30, and you'll get a glimpse of yourself.
Can
You'll be
we
well
get
famous then.
can we get
You've got,
Doug?
you've got a bald hippie from Barbados, ex-hippie from Barbados, and a goth
Oh,
from he's from Southampton.
Oh.
He supports Southampton as well, but you know we all have our faults and downfalls.
I was gonna say.
Thank you, Dog.
You all right, mate? You know you're taking the mick out of Everton many times.
Well,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. Anyway, guys, I have to go now. As
Yeah.
much as I love you guys and want to keep on chatting, if I get back on time and you guys are still about, I might just come on just for a chat, but nothing fancy. But listen, I think we've answered the question. I had a question at the start, and that was, is the Christian God a loving God? I guess by the time we had a look at everything, I think it's safe to say we know what the answer is, and that is no. So, do you have anything coming up on any of your channels? Godless Scummer, Feel the Skeptic Atheist,
I've
or
got
anything,
nothing.
or anything you want us to go check out, not on your channel, but anyone else's.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. My last video was about Cupcake, of Matt Powell. I might be dipping back into this story that's been going on with Atheist Alliance International, which I did a stream on a couple. I'm thinking I might dive into that a bit more, because I won't say how I know this, but I've heard through the grapevine that John Richards doesn't want me to make any more streams about that. So I think I'm going to make some streams about that just to annoy him now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, because I mean, look, he's actually. I won't get into the history of it. He's threatened someone who I considered a friend with legal action before over something else. So basically, bring it on, John Richards. I don't care.
Well,
So.
Anyways, that's a conversation. Godless Scummer, I will hit you up. That's a conversation we need to, because I don't really know. I don't know anything about. I mean, I do join John Richards on his channel from time to time doing Global Atheist News. So when I saw that stream, I was just gobsmacked, because I didn't have a clue what all this was about.
Yeah, well, I wasn't surprised by his attitude, because I've seen him before, and he's got a bit of a lousy attitude at times. But the stuff. I mean, I think the stuff that's going on with Atheist Alliance International actually should be important to anyone who's an atheist. And I'm not even an atheist activist, but I see that as quite important, because that's the one group that atheists have that has got representation in the United Nations, and to see it being run the way it is pretty blimmin'. It is pretty worrying, because getting that kind of getting that sort of status, like with the Council of Europe and the UN, is a very to see it being absolutely squandered and being run by these absolute clowns that are running it at the moment, I think is worrying, because The religious groups have the same representation. They're well organised, and I'd imagine it like if you're like one of the like the organised Muslim groups that goes there, or if you're the Catholic Church and you see this atheist group going there, you're going to be laughing. You're going to be laughing at them. They're a shambles and an embarrassment at the moment, and it's sad because they one time were a very good organisation.
Yeah.
But don't forget, there's been a number of controversies. But it's the same in most organisations, Jeff. You know, power corrupts absolutely. Look, just because we focus on atheist, people, we see it. Look at David Silverman for example. You know, because we're watching them. But I bet you if you look at politics,
he did
governments can see it.
He did briefly work for that group. That he was by no means the big problem with that particular group, as despite all the other issues I've got with him. He wasn't the massive issue with that particular group. Even though he worked with them for a time, it's other people that were the issues there.
Anyway, guys, as much as I would love for this to continue, I've got to go. But thank you all, honestly. Thank you for joining. And God bless Gama. If you need to do that stream, please go on and do it, because, one thing I love about Godless Gama is he's not afraid to call out atheists. He's not because he's an atheist, so therefore he's not going to call out atheists. No. When you're doing something and you call it out. Exactly. And if I'm the one who's doing something wrong, I would hope that some of you would say, Esther, no, we don't think you should be saying this, or we don't think you should do this. I wouldn't want to be here and just be a lord unto myself. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't want that.
Unfortunately, I feel like I've gotten a bit of a reputation now as being the guy that calls people atheists out, which is not what I intended to be or intended to be. But sometimes you've got to get your own house in order before criticizing others, don't you? And that's so.
To be fair, Jeff, I found your channel to be very eclectic and I love it. I love you for it. I think your channel is great.
I appreciate that.
You've done a bit of boxing. You've done a bit of this. You've done a bit of that. You show you're quite wise on a lot of subjects. You're very eclectic when it comes to discussions and topics. And that makes it. I think that's what it's all about. It's brilliant.
But it's
Esther's just got a niche in the market of dodgy.
No, what Esther does is really good. I think what Esther does is. I've told Esther this. I think what Esther does is very good because she covers areas of Christianity that I think often get overlooked and issues. And I think that's why what Esther does is very important.
Thank you all. And Randolph just joined us. I wish Jack Randolph was here, but never mind. And Scapegoat Iscariot said, "Hey, Mr. Richardson, you're just in time. Hit the like button and miss the entire show." Anyway, guys, thank you all. Love you all, and I will catch you all. If I might even come back later on tonight.
Go in and enjoy your drink
tomorrow. I will do. Right. See you all.
Good night. It's the weather for it.
Bye. Good night.
Oh,
29 out at the moment.
Oh, Brojo. Oh, hello. Just as we're leaving. Oh, good to see you. Okay. Anyway, see you all. Brojo.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.